Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast, a radio show coming to you on this Sunday, June 11th, 2023. Hopefully it finds you staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time. A couple quick housekeeping things before I just steamroll right into this. One, again, reminder you guys that JeremyScottFitness.app is live. If you guys want a free 7-day trial, you guys can pop up in there. The link is in the show notes. All my personal weekly workouts, full programs, mobility flows, and everything in between. You guys can try it for a week for free. See if you guys dig it. If you think it sucks, I'm happy to shoot you guys somewhere else to go. But again, if you want to stay with us, just a couple of pennies a day. We are week 3 right now in our summer advanced Metcom program. You guys can hop into there or do any of the stuff that we upload weekly. So check it out, JeremyScottFitness.app. It's in the show notes for free if you guys are looking for something to do for the summer. And then you guys already know this episode is brought to you by my friends at AG1. The site is drinkag1.com/JeremyScott. Now I know for a million years, you guys, we did the same ad for this, but they're doing a little rebranding, and so that is where we're at today. So again, you guys know it's the one thing I take every single day, and I never miss. I travel with it. If you're somebody who doesn't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and let's be real, none of us do, especially when we travel, this is the one thing that I would take to get enough micronutrients into your day. So if you're done taking 15 different pills and you're looking for like an easy, quick, foundational supplement, this would be the one thing I would throw into your life. And personally, I think it's the best tasting out there by far, and I've tasted damn near everything. And let's be real, I used to drink Mickey's Ice House 40s in college, and those taste like shit, and they were not good for me. And at least this will help me with gut health, boost my energy, immune system, all the important things. So if you guys want to try it right now, we'll give you a year's supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with order 1. So if you want to take ownership of your health, I would start with the AG1 stuff. And again, your supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to drinkag1.com/JeremyScott. Or if you're on the fence and you're like, well, Jeremy, you've talked about this 500 times already, I'm not sure, shoot us a message, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I don't care where you guys reach out to us. We will send you a travel pack right to your front door for free. Send us your mailing address. Monica will send you everything 100% for free. You can try it. If you like it, then get hooked up with all the free stuff from there. Nobody else is doing that, but we're happy to do it with you guys. So message us, and then the site, drinkag1.com/JeremyScott. Always a mouthful, dude. Mark fucking Kerr, dude.
Hey, Jeremy Scott.
In the house, man.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, dude. It's up to you how far you want to go back. Origin story for the people who don't know you or haven't followed wrestling, MMA, and the whole world.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
There's
I'll go early. So when you're young and you're playing sports, you play all the sports?
Yeah, I did. Most people don't realize I'm going to go way back here for 1 second. Like in my teens, I was just a completely unruly kid. So I have a brother that's 12 years older than me. So my mom didn't know what to do. I'm the last of 5 kids. She sends me to go live with my brother in the Quad Cities, which is in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
So from Ohio to Iowa. Interestingly enough, I go to a high school called Bettendorf, and Pat Miltich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Militich Fighting Systems.
So Pat was I believe he's a junior or senior. And so I was a freshman, and my only requirement was basically I had to play sports the whole entire year. So I played football, I wrestled. So I wrestled in the same room with Pat and stuff like that. And then I ran track and played baseball and did the same thing my sophomore year. And then it became harder to do all that. So I just specialized in football and wrestling, and then started to excel in wrestling. And that kind of, created a path for me forward.
Of all the high schools you could go to, like that, you think about like the shit where like that's like supposed to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah, so the even crazier part, I told my brother. So my brother basically had one rule: you follow the rule, you do what I say, or I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, basically.
Yeah.
And it worked. I respected him enough and feared him enough, I guess, that I go, okay, I'm gonna do it. So wrestling, I said I'm not going out for it. I go, no, I'm not gonna do it. And he had a friend of his over, and his friend said, listen, if I can pin you, and it was between me and my brother Matthew, if I can pin both of you, you're going out for wrestling. And that's literally, I remember in wrestling in my brother's living room.
Yeah.
And so the next day I went out for wrestling.
Wild, dude.
Yeah.
And are you good right off the bat?
Oh God, man, that was a hard room to be good in. Because Bettendorf, I think the year before had won states. They were a school where parents in the area would basically like rent an apartment in that area to have an address to send their kids to Bettendorf High School.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, Iowa in general, like, is very Iowa State. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you look at the history of wrestling from Dan Gable to Kale, like, it's
All of it, man.
killers, dude.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a requirement,
Yeah.
like if you're born and raised there, that's what you're going to do, and it's a culture thing, and so, that was foundational. So in that year, I don't even remember what my record was, but I remember I stuck it out the whole entire year, as miserable as at moments it was, because there were so many good wrestlers around me. And then when I moved back to Ohio, I was better than 90% of the kids just because of that 1 year of wrestling.
No shit.
Yeah.
And you're what, like a junior?
So no, I came back my sophomore year to Toledo, Ohio, and so my sophomore year I wrestled really well. My junior year, for my high school, I ended up winning a state championship in Ohio. Still to this day, I think my high school opened in 1920 somewhere. I'm still the only state champion in AAA wrestling from Waite High School in Toledo, Ohio.
No shit.
Yeah.
Gnarly,
So it's just like one of those things where, again, what are the odds
that you go there?
That I go there, wrestle in that wrestling room, and then go back to Ohio. I mean, it's all these little slivers of life, right?
Yeah.
That if I take one sliver out, completely different narrative going forward.
Because, like, if you don't wrestle, do you ever?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's trippy,
No.
dude.
And looking back on it, like people, oh, you have any regrets in your life? And looking back, not regrets, because where I am now, what's going on in my life now is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. It got you there.
Oh, yeah.
So you win a state championship as a junior, and then what do you do after that?
So in Ohio, in that area, it's a Big Ten, recruiting ground.
Yep.
I don't repeat as a senior. And so a lot of the bigger schools like Ohio State, Michigan State, all that were like, if you weren't at least a multiple state champ, you just passed on you.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, I meet the assistant wrestling coach from Syracuse University, comes to my high school. And we had this little leadership group.
Yeah.
And he spoke at this leadership group. His name's Gene Mills. Gene Mills, a guy named Bruce Baumgardner, who was a 3 or 4 time Olympic champ at heavyweight. He spoke. And I don't remember the third, but Gene and I started talking. And from that point going forward, he's like, hey, I can get you into Syracuse. I can get you on a scholarship. And again, it's just one of those coincidental meetings that shapes your whole life.
No shit.
Yeah, because I wasn't a strong student. There's no way if I wasn't
an athlete.
Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, the NCAA minimum requirements
for the clearinghouse.
Yeah, all of that. I mean, it's like I was barely met the requirements, and it's it's like my son would say. My son is like, Dad, grades aren't a measure of intelligence.
No, they're trash, dude. I think school is trash. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah.
Well, I go, talking to my son. My son's 18 now. He graduated high school, and he's like, if they had entrepreneurship, if they had leadership, if they had, how to start a business, that's school, right? Yeah. At least foundationally, it gives you a better opportunity. So anyway, so I get into Syracuse, and it's just this wild. Oh gosh, man, I was so overwhelmed. I didn't have foundation for academics, but I had this little bit of understanding of wrestling, and you're in the deep end of the pool.
So when you start, are you just getting this fucking murdered?
Oh God, man!
In practice?
Oh my gosh, man! There was guys there. I remember this one guy I wrestled with. He literally like looks, and he did this to all the incoming freshmen. He'd look at you and go, no, you're not going to take me down this year. And you would literally go, fuck you. And sure enough, man, it's like half the season's gone by and you haven't even gotten in on his legs.
Like, how demoralizing is
Oh
that?
my God, incredible.
God, dude.
Incredible. And you're a stud. You're a stud. It's completely different when you put somebody in these environments. You either thrive or you don't.
Well, it's like you have a whole room of killers, but then it's like it's kind of how I look at like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's like the alpha of alphas. Like all of you guys are great in Hall of Fame dudes, but there's just one of you that's a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Like you're just not the same.
Yeah, we were talking about John Jones. Like,
oh, dude.
A little bit different.
Yeah. Like where he just shows up and it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna beat you.
Yeah.
Like, not that they don't work hard and train and all that stuff. I go, but they just I always go like if it's basketball, like Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time. It's not like he practiced way more than Larry Bird or Reggie Miller or Ray Allen. He just has this thing.
Yeah.
That you don't have.
Yeah.
And you just can't beat him.
Yep.
Like that's rough. But except it's different because you're like doing one-on-one combat with a human. That to me would be even worse. It's like, like wrestling like my best friend's older brother. We were joking last night because we watched the Oliveira fight. And he's like, God, Oliveira is such a badass. I'm like, he is, dude. I go, but Islam beat him like your brother used to beat our ass. Like, and because it's true. And I thought about that. I'm like, because he would just hold us down. And it's like, there's nothing I could do. Nope. No training, no nothing. Yep. I'm like, that sucks, dude. Yeah. You have to live that in college.
Yeah. A lot of, like you're saying, like the one-off, the person that's just, they usually have a skill set that can't be coached.
Yep.
Right? Like Steph, he doesn't have he just does what he does.
It's
not a coach going, hey, listen, I want you to get 10 feet behind the three-point line. I want you to start knocking them down. It's like, it can't coach.
No.
Watching John Jones, he can't coach that stuff. That is the anomaly that makes him him.
So, like, how does college go then? You start off, like, I don't know how it works, like in wrestling especially, because it's like, do you even get to wrestle as a freshman?
I do. And, part of, I did have, like, usually when you have incoming freshmen and stuff like that, you do have wrestle-offs. So if you have a couple of people in a weight class, you'll do, like, the guy that's been the starter the year before, if that's the case, and the other two will challenge each other, and then so it's a wrestle-off to determine who is the starter for that weight class. And I wrestled one guy that was a walk-on. They didn't have nobody at 190 pounds.
And that's what you, as a freshman?
As a freshman,
dude,
yeah.
You're huge then.
Yeah.
Like in high school, you're a monster, bro.
Yeah.
What would you walk around at? 200?
200. My senior year, this is what was terrible. It's part of the reason why I didn't repeat as a state champion. I tried to cut back down. I won a state championship my junior year at 175 pounds. And I had to cut. And back then, you didn't understand at all cutting weight. You didn't understand.
Not the science of it.
No, my gosh, man. My senior year, I played football at about 220. And I cut all the way down to 175 pounds. And so the crazy part was, looking back on it, I go, wow, God, man, I'm surprised I didn't die. Because my breakfast was like a scoop of instant coffee, some vitamins, and an orange. And then for lunch, I'd have like half a can of tuna. And it was, I don't know how.
And then you're like wrestling.
And wrestling on top of that.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. My body, it was so catabolic. It just started eating muscle and eating. So at States, I couldn't understand why I didn't have any energy. Couldn't understand why I couldn't recover. And, as I started training in MMA, I realized like these little markers. So once my sleep gets disrupted, I have to look at my diet. I have to look at what I'm doing and look at my training. And then all these little markers that I figured out, going, oh shit, I'm overtraining. I'm overtraining. My body's becoming catabolic. It's starting to eat itself. Or I'm starting to do this. It's these little disruptors, and recognizing, like we were talking before, it's like, this was like figuring out how to walk on the moon back then.
Oh yeah. It's so archaic compared to today. There's no like rehydration stuff. And to be that, dude, I wasn't fucking 200 pounds, so I was probably like 28 years old. You know what I mean? Like you're like when I think of that, like, and again, I had friends like that wrestled and played football in high school, but I'm like, you're a man already.
Yeah.
Like in high school, you're a man.
Yeah.
But cutting 40 pounds.
Oh, it was brutal.
That's wild,
It was
dude.
brutal. And coming out of it and stuff, it was one. Looking back, I was like, oh my God, man. I just I didn't even know how I survived it. It was demoralizing because I didn't repeat as a state champ, and it's like for my high school, it's just such a rarity to even succeed in sport.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. It's just one where educators trying to educate an athlete that everyone's going, just pass him. Just get him through. Let him do his sports, and it's this whole different narrative, man.
Well, because like at that point, like it's your life, right? Like I would always like now they don't even have PE at a lot of school shit,
yeah,
which I think is fucked up. And I'm like, and sometimes I think they do it because they, or they don't do like the presidential physical fitness tests. Like you'd run a mile, do all this stuff. And I go, if you take that away from me, that's the only fucking thing I was good at because I was a dummy and everything else. I'm like, so this was my chance to like be awesome. Well, we can't do that because kids will feel bad. I'm like, well, I go to science class and feel like a dumbass. So like, how's it any different?
Different, right?
It's crazy, dude.
So on that same line, this is so my son, and I'm gonna blank what grade he was in. I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade, and it was an early release, and I went into school to pick him up, and I was there a little bit early, and you had all the kids in the gymnasium, and they were jumping up and down without a jump rope. And I had asked my son afterward, I go, oh my God, that's like weird. I said, why do they do that? And along the same lines is because they don't want the kids to mess up. They don't want any of the kids to feel bad.
That's crazy.
And I'm like,
dude.
oh my God, man, that's like a life. You're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
You're going to have shitty days. You're going to have days where you hate fucking life.
Yeah. And you just can't do something.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of it.
I can't dunk a basketball.
Like, you don't get everything.
No.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So they started doing that. So along the same lines, like them not having, because some kids would be really good at jumping rope.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a whole different conversation because that could take us an hour.
But it is wild, though. Like, that's the progression that we obviously went in. But, like, for me, like, sport was always, like, that was the one thing. Like, even if – and that's why I think of fitness is the same, where I could have a shitty day business-wise and 10 things can go wrong. That happens more than I like to admit. I'm like, but I can win a workout. Like,
yeah.
I can come in, I can still train and get something done.
Yeah.
Where everything else, not always the case. So, like, when you're – so you're a freshman, you wrestle.
Yep.
How does that progression go, like, from year 1 to year 4?
Oh, it was rough. It was really rough. I mean, most people don't know this, and it's just I don't know if I've talked about it to any length. So I get to Syracuse. I'm just overwhelmed with everything. I get through my freshman year. I actually make it to our conference finals, which the conference that Syracuse is in is
Big
called
East.
It's part of that, but our wrestling conference is called the EIWA, Eastern Intercollegiate Wrestling Association.
No shit.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest conferences in the United States, and it has Army, Navy, Cornell,
Really?
Princeton, Harvard. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And back then it included, it included a lot that people don't realize, right? Schools. And so I make it to the finals and I lose to a guy from Navy. I go to the NCAA championships unsuccessful with anything. This is even crazier. So my freshman year, first round of the NCAA championships, I wrestle Mark Coleman.
No shit.
Yeah. Mark Coleman was a senior at Ohio State.
And just beat your ass.
Yeah, beat the fucking brakes off.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Yeah. And then he wins an NCAA championship. So my senior year, I wrestle, right?
I know this.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
This is so I'll wait for that.
Yeah.
So I wrestle Mark Coleman. So I've been friends with Mark for, God, man, for a long time since then. We're all from that northwestern Ohio. He's from Sandusky, Fremont, where Kevin ran him and all that area. So anyways, after my sophomore year, I fail out of Syracuse academically and judiciously. I got in some trouble doing stupid shit, trespassing in student housing where I shouldn't have been. And the university goes, you need to grow the fuck up. And academically, I didn't meet the NCAA's requirements, which is progress for graduation. So each quarter, each semester, you have to accumulate so many credits.
Yep.
It's academic progress, right? And I take a year off, and I'm 20 years old, don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. And this is the crazy part. I end up working at a state fairground to set up a rock concert, Eddie Money, actually, pulling cables and pushing carts. And
like a roadie.
Yeah, like roadie. And so it was paid in cash. I think at the time it was like $10 or $12 an hour.
But dude, like they have to have you show up like you look like an alien, right?
Oh God, man, I was a super freak.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you show up and it's like you like 20 years old and just fucking jacked and like I'm here to work for the Eddie Money concert.
It's funny because we had a guy named Jimmy Fussell who was our 118 pounder. And he was just this little ball of muscle, right?
Yeah.
It used to be like, it was funny because the story, like Jimmy, when he drank, he would take on the biggest dude in the room. He didn't care.
Yeah.
So you would have like one of us step in and go, no, you don't want to fight him. They look at him going, yeah, I'll fuck him up. And it'd be like, okay, have at him. And you'd have this little ball of muscle taking these big dudes down on the ground, beating the crap out of him.
That's awesome.
Okay. So he ended up getting me the job with Eddie Money. I didn't have a car. I didn't have nothing. Literally, my family goes, you need to figure it out. And so I went from there to guys were like, hey, man, we're going to Saratoga, New York. We're going to set up Bon Jovi. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I go set up Bon Jovi in Saratoga, and the same group of guys are like, hey, we're going to Washington, D.C. to set up the Grateful Dead. You want to go? And I was like, sure. And so in Washington, D.C., after the Grateful Dead, the Who came into town. This is 1989. And then they go, hey, the Who's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. Do you want to go with us? It's like, yeah, I'll go. So I go Raleigh, North Carolina. And then from Raleigh, North Carolina, I think it was like Kansas City to Boulder to San Diego, setting up the Who the whole way.
Jesus.
And I get to San Diego, and the Rolling Stones were just starting their Steel Wheels tour. And two of the guys that I had worked with setting up. So what I was doing at that point, it's called scaffing. So you're building the scaffolding that everything goes on.
Okay.
So the speakers, the stage, the lights, and all that stuff. And it's high. It's working. I think the Who stage wasn't that high. I think it was probably like, I don't know, from ground up to the top of the scaffolding, probably, 60 feet.
Okay.
So the Rolling Stones, at the time, the Steel Wheels tour was the largest production stage put out on tour. It was like 300 and something feet long. It was like 80 feet deep, and it was 120 feet high.
It's a real deal.
Oh, it was legit.
Yeah.
And so the crazy part about all of it, I'm 20. I call this guy that has a contract to do the scaffolding. It's called UPS, United Production Services. And he gives me a chance. He's like, okay, when can you be in Philadelphia, which was their first show in Veterans Stadium. And I fly out to Philadelphia, have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Go to the production trailer, meet the guy. He hands me blueprints. And he goes, I want you to go build the downstage right spiral staircase for me. Now, the other part, which is even more fucked up, it's all union in Philly. I can't touch a fucking thing. So he goes, grab 10 guys and go down and see. So I'm literally the first day there. I'll never forget this. The first day there, I'm like, you. And, they go down to the stage, and I have them just fucking forklift fucking shit all day long because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
You're 20 years old.
Yeah. So you have one of the guys that's done this a bunch of time that works for you, the United Production Service. He's like, hey, dude, they got a complete stadium built across the street. Tonight, the Stones are rehearsing. Grab your laminate. Come over there tonight at 7. You can actually see what the fuck you're supposed to build. I was like, oh, dude. Do I look that? He goes, just stop.
Yeah. This is bullshit.
Yeah. It's just one of those stories where, again, I needed that. I needed that to realize I didn't want to do that.
At 20, I mean, but imagine like you're a 20-year-old kid, and they don't know you from anybody.
Nope.
They don't know like, hey,
Nope.
man, I was a state champion. I
Nope.
just wrestled at
None of
Syracuse.
that.
Like,
none of that.
Isn't that wild though?
Yeah.
You're like two different humans.
Oh, it's completely different. Because so the guy, his name was Mike Brown, said, listen, I'll let you do the first 4 cities to see if it works out. If not, we'll part ways. At the time, now 20 years old, this is all the money in the world. It was $800 a week plus $210 per diem. So it was $1,010 a week to be on the tour, which at the time, that was all the money in the world.
Oh, in like 1989?
Oh.
Yeah, and you're a kid.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're rich.
Oh, like I'm going to buy a house on the hill. And,
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just one of those where I was like, okay. So I did 12 cities with the Rolling Stones. And the last city I did was in Detroit. My family is in Toledo, Ohio. It's only 50 miles away. So I bought like 10 tickets and brought my whole family up, and that was kind of it. And then celebrated my 21st birthday, settled the trespassing shit, and my mom and dad went, figure it out.
And so you get to go back to school after that?
So
or no?
I called Gene Mills up and I said, hey, I need to come back up to Syracuse. I need to figure out what I need to do to get my credits up, to get back into school. And he goes, okay, you can stay in my basement. And it was this little twin mattress. This is no shit, on the floor. There was if you grew up back east, you know what a sump pump is. You had a sump pump in the basement that would kick on and off.
Yeah, keep it dry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one of these crucibles which make you. So I go back and I enroll in a community college called Onondaga Community College, and take the money I'd earned from the Rolling Stones to pay for the school, and still don't have a car. And I work at UPS from midnight until like 4, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, sleep for a little bit, get up, go to school all day, and then repeat. And in the process, I start to get back into shape. I literally and we'll talk about this. I meet a guy named Chris Campbell. Chris Campbell, multiple national champ for Dan Gable, wrestled for Iowa.
Yeah.
And Chris was on the 1980 Olympic team that was boycotted to Moscow. Gene Mills, the coach at Syracuse, he was on that same team. A bunch of guys were.
Yeah.
And Chris shows up, and he's my weight class. He actually wrestled 198 pounds. And that was the person that came into my life at that moment that redirected everything. And I didn't know what hard work was. I really honestly thought I had a grasp on like how hard you had to work to get what you wanted to get. And Chris came out of retirement when he was 35. He had hurt his neck. So he made the 1980 Olympic team. He won the 1981 World Championship. You're voted on this award by your peers. He was voted the best clinician, so technique in the world.
Yeah.
And then he retired. He went to law school. He ends up getting into Cornell, which is right down from Syracuse.
Crazy hard, too.
Yeah. Oh, my God, man. So he places in the top 1 or 2% of minority applicants. It's just this crazy whole coincidence. He ends up at Syracuse, ends up in the wrestling room, and he's my training partner. And it's one of those miracles. So I win a national championship in 1992, right? That's the same year that Chris was trying to make the Olympic team in Barcelona. So at 37 years old, he makes the Olympic team.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. And at the time, they had this Russian wrestler. His last name was Kadartsev. And when you watch a lot of these Russian wrestlers, like Khabib, right?
Dude.
Like they fundamentally are so solid. They're almost unbreakable.
I joked Islam, they're basically twin brothers, right?
Yeah.
Khabib is better, obviously, in my opinion. But we were joking last night, my best friend, he's like, how Islam just smokes Oliveira and Khabib basically just suffocates everybody. And I go, dude, you got to think about it this way. I go back to my childhood and stuff. I go, as rough as it would be, I'm like, these dudes are on a mountain wrestling fucking bears, dude. We're playing kickball at the park, playing Nintendo. They don't give a shit. It's just it's almost like Rocky shit.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Where you don't do anything but just train, and you live in this place that seems, I'm sure it's fine. It's not Scottsdale.
No.
Dagestan is not Scottsdale.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, they're just different, man.
Completely. And part of my first time. So I got an opportunity with USA Wrestling to go over and wrestle in Europe and wrestle in Russia and wrestle in Minsk, and just as the Soviet Union was breaking up. And so along that same line, right? So when you're a kid, you get in the car with your mom or dad or go to the grocery store. You push your cart around, throw the groceries in there, take the car, go back home. When they're kids in Russia, they walk to wherever they're going to get their food. They care. It's a completely different. So you'll understand this. Most of the Eastern Europeans that I wrestled, I call them heavy hipped. So when you would attack their legs, they felt like it was an anvil dropping on you. It was the craziest thing in the world, and it was so unique to that genetic and that lifestyle. It was incredible.
They have the control.
Oh,
it's just different.
My God, it was. It's just this just different. It's a different lifestyle. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah, it's I just watch him it's I remember listening to, I think it was Dustin Poirier was talking about Khabib. He's his feet were like hands, bro. He's I just felt not that he was so much stronger. Mm-hmm. He just knew how to control everywhere I would go. And I'm like, if you can do that, dude. But again, that's all they did. It's they didn't care. To me, when I watch from the outside, they seem like they don't give a shit about the money. They don't care about the famous stuff or social media. They're just we just want to just smash, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how do you compete with that?
Oh, it's
freaks me
tough,
out,
man. It's a different one. The guy that I fought a couple times, Igor Vojchanchin, right? I knew when I fought him it was gonna hurt. There's just no other way it's gonna be. It's just he's Eastern European. I know the type. I know the mentality. It's gonna hurt. It's just that's gonna be a long afternoon or a long evening.
Oh man. So you win. So you win conference championships.
I won 3 of them. I took second my freshman year, and then I won my sophomore year, my junior year, my senior year. So I dominated the conference. And then, like I was saying, in 1992, Chris is training for the 92 Olympics. And he actually wins a bronze medal, which is at 37 years old, which is incredible.
Dude.
His nemesis was this guy, Kadartsev, that he wrestled. And it's supposed to be a blind draw. Back then, it was different how they did the pulling and brackets. So he draws Kadartsev first match.
That sucks.
Yeah. And he loses to him. And it's just one of those things where leading up to it, that's when Chris basically said, let me show you how hard you need to work to get what you want.
Because otherwise, if you're, and that's I think I heard maybe Brock say in an interview, all the things what are you the most proud of? He's winning an NCAA national championship. He goes, because it was so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I imagine, of all the sports, it seems like the worst one to try to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm it's not tennis, it's not a team sport, it's just you versus you. What would you do before like you met him versus like after? Like the way, maybe the outlook or how practice would be, or just eating, sleeping, all this stuff.
So let me wind this back a little bit. So that in 1992, Chris basically had said, okay, I'm going to grab you by the hand. I'm going to show you how to do this, right? So he was still an attorney. He still had to work all day. So he would pick me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had this game that I would play. He would never wait on me. That was my thing. He would never wait on me. So I'd set my alarm, put a chair next to the door, sit there, fall asleep till I heard the horn. Beep, beep, boom, up, straight out. Gone. Straight to the gym. We'd work out for a couple hours. I would go about my school day. He would go to work. Practice for wrestling started, I think, 3 o'clock or something. I'd practice with our team and wait for him to get off of work. So he'd get off of work at 5:30, and then I'd train with him, get up, repeat.
He's doing this as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Full-time attorney.
Dude, savage.
Full-time attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got 3, at the time he was married, 3 kids at home.
Just makes you feel like shitty about your life.
Oh my God,
like,
man! Like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And he had just a drive that wasn't. It's just I'd never seen it in a person, and I think that's the part where he turned on in me, where after I won an NCAA championship, and again now the surprise is that my senior year I wrestle Randy Couture.
Captain fucking America, bro.
Yeah, Captain America.
Do you know him before that? Other than like he's a wrestler at Oklahoma State.
So even crazier, I wrestled him my sophomore year.
No shit.
Yeah, wrestled my sophomore year at a dual meet. I forget where it was, but somewhere in the Midwest in a dual meet. And I was beating him like 5-1, and he ends up beating me like 6-5. He just grinds me into the ground. Captain America.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of all the people, and it's weird because like in that era, now the world, it's so big because the sport's so global, but it's like you guys are all connected. And again, you still look at today, the wrestlers tend to do the best, but you're all in that wrestling world.
Yeah.
All of you, like Pat Milicic, Coleman, you beat Captain fucking America. That's fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah. It's a small little sliver. It's almost like the 7 degrees of separation, right? There's always this connection. It's a small community. It's one of those, I'm grateful. I'm incredibly grateful. What Chris turned on in me was, winning an NCAA championship. Now, most people that understand my background, my freshman year, I didn't win a single match at the NCAA tournament. My sophomore year, didn't win a single match at the NCAA tournament. My junior year, didn't win a single match.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was 0. Now, here's what happens. The NCAA tournament, if you lose first round, which I did, if the guy that beat you wins in the next round, he pulls you through to the consolation bracket. So one year I get pulled through to the consolation bracket, I lose again. So my record my senior year at the NCAA tournament was 0-4. I had 4 losses, 0 wins.
So no one thinks you're going to win.
Fuck no, they don't think I'm going to win.
But like, what do you think?
So I'm seated 4th.
Okay.
I'm seated 4th. And I said, how about this? How about if I just try to win the first fucking match?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So let me just try to get out of the first round. And literally it was this crazy, literally there's like 30 something seconds left in the match and I'm losing like 2-1. I take the guy down and now I'm up. I get 2 points for the takedown. Now I'm up 3-2. And there's still like 20 something seconds left in the match. And I take like a little injury timeout. And my coach is like, wow. I go, fuck, man. I've never really been in this position. And they go, okay, go ahead and fucking finish the match. I'm like, oh, okay. And I go back out and the guy's down. I'm on top of him and he springs up and I literally it's called a seat belt. Like I grab him around the waist and I put a half in and tilt him to his back end, winning like 7-2.
Jesus, dude.
So from there, it was just like, okay, I'm going to try to win the next one. And then in the semifinals, I wrestled this guy I'd wrestled twice earlier in the year. His name was Rex Holman, and from Ohio State. Mark Coleman was coaching him.
Okay.
And I think Mark Coleman was in the corner. And So anyways, wrestled Rex earlier in the year. We split 1-1. I beat him. He beats me. So he's the number 1 seed. And I'm the number 4 seed, so we meet in the semifinals. And I get a couple takedowns. I'm up on him. I think the score was 5-5 in the third period with probably 30 seconds left in the match. And I took 2 steps backwards, and you just can't do it. And so it was my second stalling call. And at that point, that like my lungs are just on fire.
You're dead.
Oh my God, my lungs are just on fire. And so literally, I'll never forget this. He pushes me. We go out of bounds, and referee's like, stalling, 1 point red, 1 point red. And so now it's 6-5 with like 22 seconds, 21 seconds left in the match. And we go back. We're both standing up. We go back, and I literally go, put my foot on the line to start, and take him down, cradle him, bring him to his back. I end up winning the match 10-6.
Jesus, dude.
And then I beat Randy in the finals 12-4.
And like, so you win, and like, what does it feel like? Because obviously, like, you're waking up early, doing all this shit, go to school, go to practice, you train every fucking day, like it's your whole life. Mm-hmm. But then you win, you're like, the high of that has to be some next level shit.
Here's the part about it, and this is one of the few times I've really experienced this. So I'll never. So at the NCAAs, they elevate the finals. When you're in the finals, they elevate the mat, the wrestling surface, right? So I think it's like 5 or 6 feet off the ground, and so I'm done. The tournament's over. Everyone's exiting the building, and I'm sitting on the stage, and my feet are hanging off there, and it's this feeling. It's not contentment. It's God, man, it's a really tough feeling to describe, because it is, at the moment, I felt like there was just nothing that I was longing for, nothing that I felt like I was driven for. I had accomplished. God, man, it's satisfaction. It's contentment might be a word. I mean, it's this feeling that's almost impossible to describe.
When it's weird too, because it's like, it's the end.
Yeah.
Of that. And that's all you've done. I mean, you go on and to keep wrestling, but in terms of that era, it's over.
Yeah.
There's no more college wrestling.
Nope.
And you like won the show when you probably like shouldn't have won.
I shouldn't have won by a long shot.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
But it's like you just show up.
Yeah.
And it's not by, I think it's not like a, there's fluke baseball games, like you have to actually win multiple matches against
5.
multiple dudes. That's gnarly, dude.
5.
Yeah.
You have to win 5 matches, and people don't understand this. So at the NCAA tournaments back then, so I wrestled 190 pounds all 4 years. My senior year, I finally said to Gene Mills, I said, I'm not cutting down to the end of the year. So I stayed at heavyweight at the beginning of the year, and then I cut down to 190 pounds. Back then at the NCAA tournament, the tournament started on a Thursday. It went into Friday and Saturday. So you weighed in on Wednesday night. So I had to make scratch weight, 190 pounds, that first night, Wednesday night, right? Thursday, they give you 1 pound. So I had to weigh 191 pounds the second day.
Oh, the
worst. And then on Friday, they give you another pound. So on Friday, I have to weigh in at 192 pounds. So I have to hold weight for 3 days.
Dude, these now like people do that for like 2 seconds, right?
Jump on the scale, get off, done.
Yeah, and these dudes by fight the next day are 20 pounds heavier.
It's unbelievable.
That's brutal, dude.
Oh, so I mean, it is. So I had, by that time, I had the ability to sit on a pedal bike. So you go in a sauna, break a sweat, put on your suit.
Pedaling a bike inside the sauna.
Oh man! So here's the other one. You get a system, whatever system works for you. So I'd have 3 layers of clothes on, right? 3 layers of sweats, and the first time that you feel like you're absolutely just going to black out, you take off the first layer of sweats, and it gives you a little bit of life. right? And then you're pedaling the bike, and then you feel like then you take off the second layer of sweats, and then eventually the third, and then you're down to your plastics, right? And then it's usually in that process, I could do 45 minutes on a bike in anywhere from 9 to 11 pounds. That's what I had it down. 9 to 11 pounds.
And you're just miserable.
Oh, miserable as fuck.
Yeah. Is that the worst? That's like the worst thing? Dog?
It's one of those where my son wrestled his freshman year in high school, and I said, "Hey, great, awesome. You're not cutting a single pound. If you're wrestling, and the coach goes, hey, I want you down." I go, then you're not wrestling, because it was so archaic back then.
Yeah. People still do it though.
Oh, they still do it. But they do it in a manner which is way safer than we were doing it.
Well, because I watch like a lot of the stuff now, because now they videotape everything, obviously. So, like I think they had Oliveira's the other day on ESPN, the MMA Instagram, and then the one was I think it was Alex Perez, bro, the dude who fought Izzy.
Oh God,
that fucking dude is huge, bro. He's fighting 85.
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude's 220
Oh, yeah.
if he's a pound.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd show him, like, the whole process. And I'm like, you have to, like, almost be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wild. Or, like, you've seen, like, where now Connor's all, juiced up. He's much, much bigger.
Yeah.
But, like, him at 45, dude, his face is gone. It's like a skeleton.
Skeleton, yeah.
No, he was great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how, like, that has to get harder, too. I imagine as you get older.
Oh, it does. It takes a toll. I mean, it's just one of those things where your resiliency to bounce back in that short little time frame, the rehydration, the nutrition you put back in, all of that. Sometimes if you cut too much, it's sluggish. Back then, the rough part was like 5% of what you're walking around weight. So I would diet down to what I figured out, I'd diet down to 207, 204, and then I'd make for that 14-pound cut, because it's just a little bit above that 5%, right?
Yeah.
A little bit above it. So I could do it. If I tried cutting more than that, oh my God, man, it's a shit show.
And you think, like, of all the things like in wrestling, that's probably like the roughest thing is the amount of weight kids try to cut, especially when they wrestle.
Yeah, I wouldn't, part of it, it's almost like going, hey, to make the sport safer, you just do catch weights. You get 10 kids, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be within a certain amount of weight from each other, and you're not allowed to cut any weight. Let's just do it that way. And as you get up and you elevate, you get to a weight class. But having a young kid cut weight, that's one of those, looking back on it going, man, I just wouldn't advocate. I'd advocate wrestling for everybody. I wouldn't advocate the idea of starving yourself.
No, because like even like when I'm gonna be 40 years old, so it's like I was in high school a million years ago. But like friends of ours who would wrestle, just be sitting there at lunch, spitting into a bottle.
Right?
Like they're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Like maybe have a chew and just sit there and spit all day. And I'm like, dude, you're not gonna eat it. No, I can't, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, bro. Like,
yeah.
That's the worst. And it's so. I guess again, I don't know if it's ever safe to do. But these guys now, like the higher levels, have like teams of people and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But you're a high school kid in like Nebraska. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. It's, that's the only takeaway from wrestling. It's just like, there's different ways you could figure it out. It was one of the harder things that I did. A lot of what we were talking about earlier, there's no format for this. Like back then, it was like we're making it up. Like training for MMA, it's like, oh, okay. How do you train, especially in Pride? Pride was a 10-minute first round. Dude. 10-minute. 10. Not 7, not 6, not 5.
It's like a high school basketball quarter, but you would stop for fouls and shoot free throws and call timeouts and shit. And I'm like, you're just going to fight a human for 10 minutes?
10 minutes. So what we were trying to do over there is going 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those minutes are just they're ineffective. So you're not getting the product you're paying for. We're trying to say this to Pride, right?
Yeah.
To the ownership going, if you had 2-minute rounds, you'd have way more action. 3-minute rounds, way more action. 4 or 5. Once you get beyond that point, it's a diminished product. It's not what the fans are paying for. And they go, okay, yeah, we'll take it into consideration.
Well, it's just like fatigue, right? It's like you can work out for an hour, but at some point you're gonna have to bullshit the beginning, the middle, or the end because like your body just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And especially when you're fighting another human, fatigue happens real quick.
Yeah.
So you go. I want to ask this too because you go from college, and then I didn't know this. Like you end up doing the Foxcatcher shit.
Yeah.
Wild, bro.
Yeah.
I watched that whole. Did you watch the movie?
Man, yeah, I watched all.
I mean, is that like? I mean, it's a movie.
It is, but you know what? I really, what I appreciated about it was the depth that they went to make it as accurate as possible. Characters.
Yeah.
Like, so to wind the clock back a little bit, after I win the NCAA championship, Chris Campbell says, hey, you need to go down to Foxcatcher, and specifically, you need to go down to Dave Schultz. And I was like, okay. Chris had really believed that he had taken me as far as he could take me, and I needed a new stimulus, right? I needed a new additive to get me to the next level. And so my first time down to the farm was I stayed at the old farmhouse, Dave. I mean, it was, this big old 3-story farmhouse. And so I stayed with Dave and Nancy and their kids and trained down there. And that was kind of the start of it. Actually, ironically enough, I trained in the fall of 1992 at Foxcatcher. They had a team getting ready to go over to Russia to wrestle in the World Cups. Part of that team was Kurt Angle. And Kurt and I were wrestling, and I hurt his knee. So USA Wrestling was like, hey, we don't know if he can compete in all the matches. We're going to fly you over with him just in case he can't. So I went over to Russia for the first time in 1992 as part of the USA World Team. And Kurt ended up wrestling all the matches. And so that started the whole Foxcatcher relationship.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. It's just, there's so much stuff there. There really is. Because, I mean, at the time, USA Wrestling they had no money.
And for people who don't know, like the movie, Steve Carell plays the dude.
So Steve Carell plays John DuPont.
Yeah.
Ruffalo plays Dave. And they have, how Ruffalo, he walked just like Dave walked.
No shit.
Oh my God, man. It's just incredible. And the nuances and mannerisms of Steve Carell were very similar to John. It's...
And Channing plays the brother.
Yeah.
So people who don't know, like, John DuPont basically funds.
He does. He was given, and I don't know the exact dollar amount, but he was given huge amounts of money to USA Wrestling. Matter of fact, the Nationals that I won in 1994, I won the Freestyle Nationals, were called the John E. DuPont Freestyle Nationals.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wild, man.
Yeah.
And he would, like, want to wrestle?
Yeah, he had.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
everybody placated him. Everybody just went along with it.
You guys are murderers. Yeah. It'd be like me, like, hey, dude, let's go, like, fucking fight a little bit. And you'd be like, dude, I'm going to headbutt your face and you'll die. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I know that.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah. He really thought everybody placated him because they go, okay, hey, man, if it means...
It's the boss.
Yeah. If it means funding for you to be able to get a small little stipends every month, that you're able to pay your car insurance, pay your car note, okay, great. Everyone went along with it because they thought it was harmless.
Yeah. You didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
So here's the first part of this is I win a spot in 93 in so the way most people don't understand, like, to make a world team in USA Wrestling, freestyle wrestling, right, in a non-Olympic year is the same process as an Olympic year. So in 1993, I win a spot on the world team, USA Wrestling world team. So here's to give you an idea. So you have freestyle nationals, right? And that puts your seeding. Like whoever wins it's the number 1 seed, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to the world team trials, that number 1 person sits on the side, and then 2 through how many ever in the pool have to wrestle amongst themselves to determine the best of that bunch, right?
Yeah.
And that person challenges the number 1 guy out of the freestyle nationals. So I was in the pool and I wrestle all these guys and then make it to this guy, a guy named Kerr, who wrestled for Michigan. And I beat him. You actually have to beat him best out of 3. So I beat him first match, beat him second match, make my first world team. And then in 1994, I end up winning the freestyle national. So now I'm the number 1 guy. The guy that wrestles in the pool is Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle comes out of the pool, and I beat him 2 out of the 3. He doesn't win a match. And in the process, that 1994 world team, which is going to Istanbul, Turkey, the training camp was at Foxcatcher.
No shit.
Yeah, and I end up staying, which at the time everyone just called it the Big House. I end up staying in John's, the Big House, which is a 30,000 square foot Monticello mansion on the grounds, which they destroyed now, but demolished. So I end up staying in John's mom's room, who passed away in the late 80s. And the only other person that had stayed there in that room was Mark Schultz.
No shit.
Yeah, it was this weird little thing. Like, I went to a guy named Rob Calabrese. Rob Calabrese had built a house on 10 acres. John had given him 10 acres, and he had built a house on the farm. And so normally I'd stay with John, or Rob Calabrese. And so when John says, hey, just stay at the Big House, right? I literally called Calabrese. I go, hey, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, all right, here's the rules. When you, because he has maids and servants that make everything, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes, when you show up for dinner, you gotta have a collared shirt. Can't show up in a t-shirt. And when you do this, and it's like all these fucking ground rules.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's
so it's
crazy.
this weird. It's this weird little experience because John. So there's so many little things in there. So DuPont had. He grew up in an aristocratic, family, obviously, blah, blah, blah.
Like
so,
billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the DuPonts, billions and billions.
It's chemicals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Chemicals and fabric and fiber and all these different things they've created. So I end up staying in the Big House.
That's so crazy, dude, because, I just think of the movie, and I'm like, bro, you were, there.
Oh, God, man. Yeah.
That's gnarly. Dude.
Yeah. So they end up, what I appreciated, the director, and I don't remember the director's name off the top of my head, but he had called. He had gotten everybody's number, and he did a lengthy phone interview and just asked all these questions, like, what was your first impression when you first met John DuPont? What was this? What was these mannerisms? How did he walk? How did he interact? I mean, this whole list of questions, and he just got that, and that was that was how the characters ended up appearing. It was great. It was amazing that they portrayed it like that. Obviously, the result of everything was so. This one and this line here. So, 1994, go to the Worlds. In 1990, this is just really bad. So, John had murdered Dave in January of 1996. Okay.
Spoiler if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, but spoiler alert. So,
fuck, dude.
I was with USA Wrestling in Siberia, Russia, wrestling in a tournament. And we all get woken up at I think it was 4 or 5 in the morning. And Bruce Burnett, who was the USA Wrestling head coach, pulls us all in the lobby of the floor, and we're in a circle. And he's like, I got some horrible news. And he announces to all of us that John had murdered Dave. And it was this feeling of, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
you motherfucker. And for me, the feeling, so we're going into Olympic year, and part of what that experience was, so I had spoken with Dave in December of 95. I said, Dave, I said, man, is the funding going to be there till the Olympic trials? I mean, I can't make it to Olympic trials unless I have money to pay for X, Y, and Z. And he goes, don't worry about it. Everything will be there. So my itinerary was to fly from Siberia back to New York City to Foxcatcher to continue to train. And God, man, that was a brutal year. It was brutal.
I mean, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like you watch it in like a movie, you're like, oh, but this is like real shit.
Oh, it's real shit.
And like when you hear that, you have to be like, what the fuck?
So
like never in a million years would you think like that's.
No. Mm-mm. So Dave had learned to speak Russian. So he was fluent in Russian. And so he was endeared by the Russian wrestling community. And so when they made I'll never forget this. When they made the announcement the next day in the arena, there was this collective gasp of everybody in the arena. Now, mind you, we're in this little town that's a 4-hour plane ride from Moscow east, heading to Siberia, this little tiny town. And they knew who Dave was.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So like fucked up, like the whole thing.
Oh, it's
for no reason.
None.
You know?
None.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's sad as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's like, apparently it's accurate.
Yeah. They did just a really good job of putting that out. And, you know, it's like one of those chapters. So this will get me a little bit further. So
you're wrestling, and it's you and... Because, like, what is it? Like, the Olympics are what, 92, 96?
96, yeah.
Yeah, so that's... You're going for a spot in the Olympics?
So I'm going for the spot. So in 95, so I had won the spot on the freestyle world team in 93 and 94. Kurt and I wrestled in 95. Kurt beat me in 95. We actually tied 3 matches in a row. So the finals of the freestyle nationals, we tied. I think it was 2-2 or 1-1. And then the world team trials, I'd made it through the pool, made it to Kurt, and we tied. I think it was 3-3, 2-2 or something like that. He goes on to the Worlds, and I think in 95 he won the Worlds, and then in 96 he wins the Olympic gold. So 96 was like one of those years where so Dave is murdered in January 96. The end of that month, my mom, who had so she had colon cancer, it came back, and in 96 at the end of that month, she got diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Jesus, dude.
So I'm still trying, like, vicariously, my mom wanted me to be an Olympian. And so it's this, like, I got to do everything I can. And in 90, but this is winding the clock back a little bit, but in the Worlds in 1994 in Istanbul, Turkey, first round, first match, I blow out my ACL on my left knee. And so in the fall of that year, I get reconstructive surgery on my left knee. So I'm battling this to try to come back in 95. 96, there's still residual. It's still not 100%. You know, Kurt ends up making the Olympics, blah, blah, blah. You know, my mom goes out to Spokane at Olympic trials. First person I wrestle, most people will know this. In the Olympic trials, you have to wrestle a pool to get to Kurt, because Kurt won the nationals.
Yeah.
Right? I wrestle Mark Coleman.
No shit.
No fucking shit. He comes out of fucking retirement and beats me 1-0.
And you guys are friends?
Oh, yeah. Beats me 1-0.
Are you guys friends then? Or not?
We're acquaintances.
Not like today?
No. We're acquaintances.
Isn't that fucking...
Yeah, he fucking beats me 1-0 and then fucking bows out of the tournament. A guy named Dan Shade. Beats Mark, and so Mark's like, fucking, I'm done. And the crazy part is, after Mark beats me, I'm like, fuck it, I'm not wrestling. And a coach comes over to me, and he knows the situation. He just knows what this year has been. It's just been a shit show.
Yeah.
So So I literally after you're done wrestling, like you're done, you put your shoes on the mat and walk away, and that's it. I had said, fuck it, threw him in the trash. And I was so upset. And he comes over and says, hey, bud, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm done. And he goes, don't you think your mom would want you to continue on and watch you wrestle a couple more matches? And it was like that fucking gut check where I was like, oh my God, man.
That hits hard.
Oh, it's brutal. So I wrestle back. I think I wrestled four more matches, 3 or 4 more matches that day. And I wrestled back to where I would be like the second alternate and wrestle this kid from Penn State named Kerry McCoy. And I'd beaten Kerry earlier the year before, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm so beat up at that point. So if I beat him, I'm second alternate on the team. And I just got nothing. I got torn cartilage in my ribs. I got this, that, and the other. And so I ended up wrestling. And, I ended up being like, if the plane went down, I would have been like second alternate, right?
Yeah.
But it's just one where I'm glad I did it. And then my mom, the crazy part is, so fighting isn't even on my radar at this point.
Yeah.
And so
you're like what, 25 maybe?
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And so what happens, I go home to Ohio and to spend time with my mom, obviously, and the Olympics comes on and they're broadcasting the wrestling, and they have the finals with Kerr, and he wrestles this Iranian guy, which is unbelievable. And Kerr wins the gold. And after that, we try to get a hold of him, like frantically trying to get a hold of him, because my mom had been always encouraging, regardless if I won or lost to the person I won or beat.
Yeah.
And so she always was kind and always had something positive to say to Kurt. And so obviously he's busy afterward. We don't get a hold of him. And my mom dies September 3rd, 1996. And we get a letter like 2 days later from Kurt. And it's this beautiful letter that says, like, Mrs. Kerr, I'm sorry, to hear you're in this situation. But at this moment, thinking of me, brings blah, blah, blah. And he says, without Mark, there's no me. And it's this beautiful letter.
Jesus.
It's a beautiful letter. I'll actually post it on my Instagram. I'll post it.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Because like for people, like most the casuals, like Kurt Angle ends up being like Mr. Fucking.
Oh God, man, he ends up making a total career of it.
Yeah.
Which
is crazy. Because like that was his shtick. Mm-hmm. Was like, I was the Olympic
All-American type of person, yada yada.
And now I wrestle.
Yeah.
And you're like right in that same world.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, you meet, and you're only 25, and you've met like, but again, you hang out with a bunch of killers, bro. Like, that's just like.
It's the group you were in.
God, dude. Like, how, is there like a difference? Like, obviously it's all hard, and it's all ridiculous, because like it's like every level you go up, everything becomes insane, but like from college wrestling to like the next level, like, was it way harder trying to do like the world stuff, or is it similar?
So once I won an NCAA championship, it was like a light bulb went on, and it was all of a sudden I realized what I was,
like you belong.
Yeah.
And before that, you're like,
oh, I was a pretender. Felt like in me, I felt like I was a complete pretender. So Chris Campbell used to say this to me, and I still say it. I say it to my son. He would say, only if you can see yourself through my eyes, you would know what I'm talking about.
I think that's real for a lot of people.
Oh, it's 100%.
In a lot of things. Because, like, you don't get to hear what people say about you when you're not there.
No.
Or when you leave. And especially in the world you're in, like, the guys you're wrestling can't be like, yeah, bro, I'm scared to wrestle you. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't work.
Because then you're like, well, fuck.
It doesn't work.
I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
But, God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it took that to be like.
It was this innate belief that he gave me that I didn't know I had that. Like, it created something in me where, you know what? I can do this, man. As hard as it is, I can fucking do this. I had went through what I went through to get back into Syracuse. got all my credits up, did all that stuff, which was, brutal. It was brutal.
Well, and that's like where people who were never athletes, or even like if you were in high school and college, like you start to look at it, like it becomes your life. It's a huge part of it, but you're doing it at community college, and then you're like working at fucking UPS, and then you're like trying to practice. Like it's the hardest road like possible.
Yeah.
Or if you're just a dude, like I'm on scholarship, I go to class and do my shit. It would have been way easier.
Oh God, it was way easier.
Yeah.
Would have joined a frat. Would have probably.
But you're on the fucking road with Rolling Stone doing God knows what. It's like,
oh yeah,
isn't that wild,
debauchery?
Bro? Yeah.
So when I ended that tour, I ended up going back up to Syracuse. I think I weighed like 247, 48, 49. I mean, just huge, thick human being.
Monster.
And when Chris Campbell looked at me, he's just like, "We're gonna get you running," and I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
I'm 250, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'll crush the concrete, And he goes, "All right, let's just do something simple. Let's do 10 miles a week." I was like, "Oh shit, that's 2 miles a day." I mean, I probably won't. Okay, all right. So it was this little game, and it was this run up to it where it's like all of a sudden I was doing. By the time that summer ended, I was running, 40 miles a week.
At 200 plus pounds.
Oh, I had gotten down. I forget exactly what I got now, but I just slowly started to just get down to a reasonable weight where going, okay, now you can start at least the process to start getting ready for wrestling.
Like, and how, like for you, like how strong are you? Like in these, like, are you like freakishly strong compared to other people? Or is it like similar? Like, and everybody always goes like, what do you squat, bench, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I get that. But like, is it crazy? Or like, is everybody kind of, or you're just like, you know what, I'm better because of this?
I was better for a couple of reasons. One was strength. Linear is different, right? Like bench press squat, it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, I was strong in that regard. But it's one of those where freakish hand strength, and like if I grabbed a hold of you weren't getting away from me.
Trouble. Yeah.
You weren't getting away. And then, a lot of it's almost like a reticulated python. It's this, you'll watch guys wrestle and you'll see all these little hand fight movement. All of a sudden it's just like wham, this burst of energy. And, I could close a little tiny gap in a millisecond. That was part of what allowed me to be successful, is having the ability to, react and explode.
And it's like, is there ever dude like you wrestle where you're like, yeah, this is different. Like this guy's just like better. Like, or I just can't figure him out. Sometimes styles make fights, obviously.
They do.
Or like when you watch people now, like if you watch like who's like Jordan Burroughs or somebody, you watch these dudes, you're like, what the fuck is this? Because like you're so much better than the best dudes, which seems like it's like I always say like you need a normal person in the arena.
Yeah.
Like when Michael Phelps swims, he beats everyone's ass.
Yeah.
But you need like me in like lane 8 to see how fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's how much better they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Phelps slapped me.
Yeah. Because wrestling, it's tough because it's like, oh, you won 4-0. And it's like,
there's no exact correlation, right?
Context.
So yeah, like running a 100-yard dash, right? It's like Usain Bolt, finishes and you're 25 meters into it.
Yeah, and we're like halfway down the track.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
That's how fast he is.
Yeah.
There's almost no way to visually look at that until you get the guys that dominate. Somebody, Jordan Burroughs, right?
Yeah.
You get somebody that going, oh, that guy was wow. Like, holy shit.
And smoking them.
Oh, smoking them. So Kevin Jackson, who's a coach at Michigan now, who was a national coach, I believe, national freestyle coach, he was a handful, even though he's a little bit lighter. The reason why I beat Kerr the years I beat him, I just had more horsepower. I just literally I was just stronger, bigger. He was way faster. I mean, incredibly fast. The only thing that for me when you wrestle that slows speed down is strength.
Yeah.
But it's only to a point, because as the match goes on, that strength becomes less and less and less and less and less, and that speed value goes up.
It's still quick.
Yeah. still goes up. So Kerr, if you watched him wrestle at all, he's just unbelievably quick.
And like the practices like you guys would have, like the amount of conditioning, like how miserable is, like when you think about it now, like how rough was it? Because like
brutal.
I would watch, like in college, like I'd watch, like you go to basketball practice, it sucks, but it's no offense, it's not that fucking hard. Like you just run a lot.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing fucking like fireman carries and shit,
God, man,
up and down stairs, bear crawling around. Like you do, what your practice is what we do here for like conditioning. But it's like almost like fucking punishment. And I hate to say it that way because fitness shouldn't be punishment, but that's how we grew up in the context.
Right. So it's almost like instead of the punishment, that's I look at it, it's enlightenment.
Yeah.
Right. Like for me, that stuff, it opened up doors in myself I didn't know I had, right? Like, fuck, I can do this. I can put them on my back. I can know that I'm fucking exhausted, about to fall over, blah, blah, blah. And I can continue to do something that fucking sucks.
But I have to do it.
Have to do it. Because this is the way forward, right? Like, keep moving forward. That's it. There's incredible parts about, physicality brings out all of these either flaws, like you give up too easy on yourself, or it brings out the other side of it, right? Where, fuck yeah, I can do this.
Well, a sport is like the only thing where I always say it's like the fairest thing, especially like if it's like fitness training, like either you lift the weights or you don't. Like either you keep running or you don't, or you just quit and you make an excuse like why you can't do it. And like in that arena, you're doing it like the other dude you're going to meet, he's doing that same shit too. Oof. And like the cool thing, like to me, like with the team stuff, even though like you guys, your stuff was individual, you could have probably quit 50 times, but there's 20 other dudes.
Yeah, depending on you.
And you're like, well, these dudes aren't quitting yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're going to pull my scholarship, so fuck it, I'm going to keep running, bro.
Yeah.
It's different, man.
Completely.
And you see it, like we see it here with the people where they played sports or they didn't play sports. Because when it gets uncomfortable here, again, if you're an athlete, you're a dummy at some point. I don't mean that in a negative way. I go, but I'm stupid. Like, I'll damn near kill myself doing some of this shit. I'm like, because I'll just keep going even when it's miserable. Where a normal person, they get uncomfortable and they're like, well, I've had enough. And there's just this second gear where you just kind of keep going. So you do all this post, like, the Olympic stuff. Are you like, how do you get into, I get it's the natural, I look at it now, it's a natural progression for a lot of guys. Yeah. I'm going to just fight humans for money.
Yeah.
Like, how does that even start?
Oh, my God. So again, this is how life kind of take one thing out. It's completely different. So when I start training for the 96 Olympics, I had moved here in 1995, moved to Phoenix.
Okay.
I am in the kind of fold of Sunkissed Kids, right? Sunkissed Kids has training camp here. It's a better situation for me than staying back east and training at Foxcatcher because the guy at Foxcatcher is going to compete at my weight class. So I'm a guy named Dan Shade. So I'm like, okay, I'll be over here. So we're training at North Phoenix Baptist Church. Okay?
Wild, dude.
So here's what's crazy about it. North Phoenix Baptist Church has a roller skating ring, racquetball courts, basketball courts. It's really one of the few churches I've ever been in that has a complete full fitness center, tennis courts, racquetball courts, squash courts. They also have a dojo.
That's crazy.
So this is the crazy part about it. So there's this guy who's the sensei. His name is Richard Hamilton. And Richard, I don't know how he had met Dan Severn and Don Fry, but they had crossed paths. And there's a bunch of wrestlers wrestling. He knows what Dan Severn is in the octagon. He knows what Don Fry is. So he's looking at all these wrestlers and he's like, hey, by the way, if you don't make the Olympic team, I can get you into this, MMA stuff, mixed martial arts, UFC stuff, right?
And had you heard of it?
At that point, I don't think it was even on my radar.
Yeah.
At that point, I couldn't even afford the $25 or $30 to buy the fight. So it wouldn't have been. And again, I would probably had, I don't even know if I had cable in my place, but
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you end up there.
So I end up there, And it's just this coincidental meeting where he's like, you know, if you don't make the Olympic team, and word had kind of filtered back. The UFC was, God, man, I forget whatever UFC Mark Coleman did the first when he fights Don Fry and stuff like that. So that was a contract I could have signed.
Okay.
But like I was saying earlier, my mom had terminal cancer. There's nothing that summer I did except hang out with my mom, right?
Yeah.
So Coleman took that first contract, and in the fall, I literally just was like, after my mom passed away, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm not wrestling. You know, I don't know. So I got a hold of Richard, and I said, what do you have? And he's like, well, there's this Vale Tudo thing in Brazil. It's in January of 97. Would you be interested? And I was like, how much? And he goes, $25,000. And I didn't even ask for the details of like what exactly it is. I go, okay. And he goes, so that was, we had, let's see, it would have been, beginning of November, December, and then January. So I had like 3 months training.
Do you like even know the rules?
So that's when I got back to Phoenix. So I was in Ohio. I had got back to Phoenix, and he starts explaining. He's like, okay, so it's no gloves. And at that point, I had never even watched a UFC fight. Actually, I take that back. I had watched a UFC fight at the head coach of ASU, a guy named Zeke Jones. Zeke Jones had a fight somewhere in there that I had watched the fight. No gloves. There's really no time limit. There's no rules except your basics, right? Like no biting, no eye gouging, no fish hooking. And Richard was like, don't worry about it. We're going to, you know, I'll get you trained where, you know, you don't hurt your hands, blah, 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 blah. And so we trained for, you know, like 2 months. And I went down there and did the fights.
And like, had you fought anybody before?
No.
Like never in your life?
Nope. I'd gotten in a couple fights in college. That was it.
Yeah. And is this isn't the Fabio?
Yeah, this is a Fabio Gurgel. This is
I was watching it.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, bro.
Violent
is the word I would use.
Violent is, yeah. Pure, absolutely. In the conception, like at the beginning of this perception is what everyone thought the UFC was.
Yeah. Just brutal ass.
Just, you know, like that fight.
Because it's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody wants to watch the clips. It's rough, dude.
It's nasty.
Is that like, do you get is that the nickname they give you that?
Yeah, they give me the nickname down there, Smashing Machine.
Like that's.
Like in Portuguese, I think it's like, I'm going to butcher it. It's like Máquina de Bater. It's on the cover of the machine that smashes.
Yeah.
The Smashing Machine.
Because you just beat the shit out of it.
Oh, my gosh, it was pulverizing. Like, the first guy was Paul Varlins, passed away last year. You know, and again, I was so nervous because the perception in your head prior to mixed martial arts was if you're bigger and stronger, you're going to win a fight. That was the perception.
Yeah, until you like start watching, like,
God.
Like UFC 1, you're like, how's this little dude
beating up everybody?
Yeah,
that was the first like light bulb, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a 29-degree black belt in Kung Wing Fung Jo
or an NCAA Division I wrestling champion. So like, are you scared of shit?
Oh my God, because I still had in my head, like, Paul's like 6'7", 6'8", 360 pounds. I was like, holy fucking shit, man. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with him? And I literally walk out, and I was like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, and he's down on the ground. I was like, oh, fuck that. And then I was like, I didn't even, it was like this mindless reaction to everything.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, just trying to get this over as soon as possible. Like and you've heard David Goggins, right? Like Soul Taker, right? Like that whole perception of, not perception, but the whole objective, like when you're fighting, is that I need to take something from you. I need to enforce my will on you until you give it to me, right? And that what you're giving to me is your will.
You just break them.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And it's just one where there's no other way you're Khabib, right? That, like, he's got such it's locked so far inside him that is like one of those things where it's like, fuck, he ain't giving it up.
Like, I'm going to drown you.
Oh, you're going to have to. And that was Fabio. That was the last fight of that night, going, you won't give it to me. And I'm frustrated. And I'm going to do everything I fucking can. And he wouldn't give it up. He wouldn't give that fucking will up. He wouldn't give that part of himself up that I was trying to take from him. You know, I didn't figure all this shit out until I looked back on it going, oh, fuck, that's what it was.
Well, because you watch, like, I think I always go, like, a normal person. Like, you watch, like, UFC fights. These dudes are standing toe-to-toe, punching each other in the face. If you ever watched a normal street fight or been in one in a bar, it's like one and done.
Yeah.
Some guys get hit and they're like,
fuck.
You guys are like walking through fire and like you're beating the shit out of a dude and he's just like, yeah, bro, I still think I can win.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Obviously, like, nervous as shit, which I can imagine. Like, you know, I probably have to shit my pants like 7 times before I go out. But like, how do you feel like when you win?
Oh gosh, man, it's
like the juice just has to be running through your body.
Oh gosh, it's
electric.
And part of the reason you get hooked on this is that feeling, like, looking back on it, right?
Yeah.
And going, oh fuck, man, there's nothing I do in my everyday day-to-day life that's gonna give me that juice.
No.
That's gonna give me that feeling. And it's, thankfully, I'm not in like a chaser, right? Where I'm chasing that. There's other ways I can do it, right? But looking back on it going, well, you know, my analogy, and I've said this before, is like Bill Gates, right? Billions of dollars. He can't buy that fucking feeling.
No.
He can't. He doesn't know what it's like to step in an arena with you, and I joke, I go, with me and another dude in hot fucking pants, right?
Yep. Standing
in the middle of the fucking ring, just me and him, and there's fucking 90,000 people in the stands. You don't know what that fucking feeling is. It's such an intense feeling, and you get so dialed into your human nature and animalistic nature. And I've said this before. It's like, I can smell you fucking across the ring, a 21-meter ring, 7 meters by 7 meters by 7 meters. I can fucking smell you. I know if you're fearful, it's a different odor. If you're fucking sweating, it's a different odor. You know, it's like this heightened sense of your human nature, which is always there. It's in everybody. And if you figure out the little key to draw it out, it's a different level.
Because I imagine, like, you're there and it's like you're going to go in, and either I can be like, there's a feeling of like embarrassment if I get knocked the fuck out, or fear, or then the high of it. And like we talked about Connor earlier, like, you have $1 billion. Why do you want to fight?
Yeah.
And I would imagine the only thing other than like legacy shit, if that matters to people, but that feeling of walking in there and doing his normal fucking there's no money that will ever buy that for you.
No.
And once it's done, I tell like high school kids we talk to, I go, when you run out for your high school football game or whatever, for most of you, that's never coming back because you're going to go work as a real estate agent or sell insurance. And no offense, selling insurance, dude, isn't like playing sports.
No.
Because the highs and the lows, right? Like, even if it's a football game, basketball game, fighting has to be 10x that. You can be winning by 10 points, but feel like you're losing because the momentum changes. And then you can be, you know, we're guaranteed to win, and then a buzzer beater happens and you lose. And it's like we go from, like, happy to sad in, like, in this 40-minute window. And I think my job is fucking great. There's nothing that happens for me in 40 minutes that is that exciting. Like, you know, there's nothing I can do. And, like, you're living it at this, like, peak level, and it's like the amount of, I don't want to say fear, but like, I don't know how else it would be.
And I've said this before, like, to try to understand those moments better for me, it's language, right? So, like, instead of saying fear, I would say excitement, right?
Yeah.
Anticipation, right? You know, you create this language around what you're about to do, and it creates focus, one, right? It is fear, but it's primal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely primal. You know, it is a bear's at the door. You know, that's it. You know, what the fuck am I going to do? You know.
And did you love it?
There's moments where I fucking hated it.
And that's like what I always wonder when you watch dudes where, and I think they say this about like, pro sports. Some guys who are great just do it because they're great. And then some guys love to just hoop and play basketball and they don't play for free. I do think when you watch dudes fight, there's some dudes who just like would fight for nothing and just like to fuck, which is nuts. And then there's dudes who are like, I don't think they like to get hit as much and they're just doing it because they're good at it.
Yeah. And that's, one, like the analogy was like the first 10, 11 fights I had, people were like, oh my God. And I go, yeah, I loved it because I didn't get fucking hit.
It's way better, right?
Yeah, way better. I mean, you can ask guys, you can ask Connor, you like being hit or being the one that hits? Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Who likes to take damage?
Nobody. But you're capable of it. You know that, for most people, for most fighters, it creates an honest reaction, of like, okay, it gears you up. It gears you up. It's like, okay, I took a shot, but watch this, and it creates this whole paradigm where you want to administer back double what you got, and, again, it's this primal thing. If people are able to dial into it, it gives you, it's the juice,
Well, that's what I say. I'm like, you guys should have been born 500 years ago in the Colosseum in Rome, fucking killing each other.
Yeah.
Because you're not built for the world we live in today.
No.
And when you watch fights, can you tell guys that like, he doesn't probably like to get hit as much?
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Because like as a casual fans, like I think you can tell sometimes, but you probably see it even different. Like, oh yeah, that dude doesn't want to be there right now.
Yeah. And you know when
you're in there.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. It's you can't hide it.
Because like a guy will get clipped and he'll kind of like smile and like shake. I'm like, did you really not care, or does that mean you really did care? And like you felt that one, and you're like, fuck, dude.
There's a lot of those little tells.
Yeah.
That as a fighter you look at it and you go, oh man, fuck. That's it's one of those where it's like, like you said, as a casual observer, you can pick up on little things like that.
We haven't been in there.
No.
So like when you get hit, are you like, well, I can't let him know that fucking hurt?
Oh, I'm one where it's like, I'm not going to let him fucking, it's show, right? Show and tell,
So
show and tell.
How do you end up in like the UFC then?
So I end up doing the Vale Tudo fights. And afterward, I don't know how much I've talked about this. So it was bare knuckle. And the second guy that I fought that night was, I guess they call him Master Hulk or something like that. Capoeiro guy, right?
You guys had no gloves at all?
Zero.
Dude, do you ever watch any of that bare knuckle shit now?
It's a little rough.
I watched Mendez and I think Eddie. Like Alvarez.
Oh God,
dude, their faces were fucking trash.
Yeah,
it's almost hard to watch, and I like shit.
Yeah,
but I'm also a human. I'm like, I feel bad because like what their face looks like in 3 days. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Jesus, dude. So you were doing that?
Yeah, doing that 20 plus years ago, 97. And so I end up the second guy fought didn't have a mouthpiece in, and
like just because he didn't want to.
They didn't check all that shit, man. I think cups were optional.
Jesus, bro. It was a Wild West.
Oh my God. It was looking back on it going, fuck. There's no way that I would sign up for any, like now, obviously.
Because
I know. And that's just one where the ignorance of like 25 grand. Last year, I worked, finished up as assistant coach at Syracuse, that pay, and then worked at Home Depot, that pay. I made $23,000. So you're going to offer me $25,000 to fight one night. Sure, sign me up.
I mean, well, and you're young, and
I'm young. I'm coming off an Olympic cycle.
It's the phrasing we say here, because obviously, like, all of us are getting older as I train, and like, knock on wood, never had like a legit injury, but things aren't the same. And it's like you're invincible until you're not.
Oh God.
Like, because then it's like you feel like I always joke, because I do look like Bruce Willis, but like I feel like I was him from Unbreakable. The whole train crashes and I walk off and I'm fine. And I used to legit think that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I got a little older and I'm like, yeah, dude, you're not unbreakable, dude. Like, you're getting older, bro.
Shit breaks.
And I'm sure for you too, it's like, well, fuck it, I'll fight him because I'm young, whatever.
It was, and part of part of that year with Dave, my mom, all of that, it's almost like I had a case of the fuck it's. I didn't make the fucking Olympic team.
Did that bother you?
Yeah, it bothered me for a couple different reasons. Obviously it's the vicariousness of what of my mom wanting to see me in the Olympics, and I wanted to be able to give that to her, and I couldn't do it.
For sure.
But Kurt winning was not a bad thing either. It's like she had connection to it.
Yeah. But like for you, I'd imagine knowing like you're in the same like arena, like you're right there. Like I'm good enough to.
Oh, absolutely.
And I ask this too because like it's this, I don't know, like it's like I think of everything where it all matters and it all doesn't matter because in 100 years like nobody gives a fuck, right? And so to your whole life, like would it matter if you won a gold medal at the Olympics or not? Like, yeah, obviously it's super fucking cool and I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it on the podcast. But when you go to like Safeway after this and grab groceries, does anybody give a shit?
No.
And for you that has to be wild too.
Oh, I don't. It's a matter of fact. I don't like. Like I was at an event last night, and my girlfriend Fran, she's like, "Did you let him know you're a UFC fighter?" I was like, "No." I don't lead with that. It's not because for some people it's like, oh, yeah, interesting, and it's just, it's just this weird paradigm.
Well, like because it's not like you're going to wear the medal around your neck like every day. I'm going to Wells Fargo. I got a fucking gold medal on.
Yeah, let me put it on before I go.
Yeah, but I imagine like in the time you're like, I could have done this too, and that would be because again you've given your life to this thing. And that would be tough, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I had made a commitment for one Olympic cycle. It was just, it's so intense when you get there. It consumes everything.
For no money.
Oh God! At the time back then, it was fucking for a handshake and a hat.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like you're the best at like what you do in the world, and it's so few people like I don't want to say give a shit. But I always joke too, and that's why I never get wrapped up in anything. Like, my wife like knows sports enough, dude. She couldn't name you anybody in the UFC who is a champion of anything.
Yeah.
And they're famous, and she doesn't give a shit. And I'm like, oh, that's most people, and that goes for the NBA or the NFL or anything else.
Oh.
It's just this really small niche thing.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it would probably bug me too if I was like, I probably could have fucking beat that guy. You know what I mean? For a little bit, and then
a little bit, and then like I was saying, I get a case of the fuckets. I go ahead and do this fight. Second guy fought that night, no mouthpiece in. I knock a couple of his teeth out, and I inoculate my bone with the strep bacteria. So I have this big scar on my hand.
You get strep.
Oh God, I didn't know any of this. So I fight Fabio, the next fight.
Yeah.
And at that point. When you punch with bare knuckles, you pop these capsules in your knuckles. It's just unavoidable. So you can't see any of these knuckles. My hands have hemorrhaged to where you can't see no knuckles. And this one's bleeding. It's just got a little cut in it. And the next day, I'm walking through the lobby with my hands up because I can't hold them down because they throb and hurt. So I'm walking like this, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it's an American doctor, and he's like, "Hey, what happened to your hands?" And I explained, in the basement of the hotel we were staying at, we had a fight last night, blah 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 blah. The Brazilian doctors had put stitches in it, which trapped the bacteria in it, and it didn't let it bleed out or whatever, and. So he's looking at my hand, and he's looking at these tiny little red streaks that have already started.
So you can see it already.
Yeah, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And I go, "Oh, I'm getting ready to fly out later tonight, back to the States." And he's like, "Hey, you need to come with me to a pharmacy. I need to get you on a Spectrum antibiotic right now, and then right when you get back to the States, you need to go straight to the emergency room." And I'm like, what the? He goes, you need to take those stitches out too. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so he takes the stitches out, starts me on the antibiotic. By the time I get back to the States, I'm already starting to get sick. not realizing like I'm starting to get a fever, my appetite's gone. So I go to my orthopedic's like, dude, you need to go to fucking hand surgeon right now. Go to the hand surgeon. Literally, I'm in a tank top, shorts, and sandals. And he literally goes, when's the last time you ate? And I go, oh, fuck, man, I haven't been hungry. And, you know, I probably ate about 1. And he goes, all right, we can have you on the operating table at 8. And I'm like, fuck you. I go, time the fuck out. Hang on. And I literally called a friend of mine that was a doctor. He goes, dude, you need to do this. Here's why. The strep bacteria, if you let it just fester, it was in my bone is what it was in. When I hit him, even though it was a tiny cut, it inoculated my knuckle, and it gets in your bone marrow. And it's a little bit more extensive to get it out of your body. It'll start migrating, and it'll actually it prefers your heart because it eats your heart valves out and shit like that. And blood. I didn't know any of this fucking shit.
Jesus.
So when I get back, I flew back that day straight to Murray, straight to the hospital, did surgery. I'm in the hospital for 7 fucking days.
Jesus,
right?
dude.
I have to do IV antibiotic therapy for 6 months. I have to have 2 different types of antibiotics pumped in. So I had a nurse that would come out once a week to change out my IV lines. I had to do it, I think it was 3 times a day for 6 months.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah. I'm like, I ain't never fucking fighting again. Fuck you.
And then you quit, and that was it.
Yeah, the rest of the story. So I was working at Safeway. No.
After your first fight, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so you go from that, you recover, and then obviously you're like...
$12 in my bank account.
Are these... And now again, were those all tournament style too back then or no?
Yeah.
And so then you're back, like you don't have money, and you're like, well, I'm good at this thing. Is that how you...
UFC... So in the meantime, the UFC saw the tapes.
Okay.
And they contacted me and said, would you be interested? And so at the time, they signed me to a 3-tournament fight deal.
So I can't believe that shit was tournaments, dude. Because now dudes fight like sometimes once a year, twice a year.
Oh.
Dude, tournaments.
Brutal.
Wild, man.
Brutal. And, part of it, too, back then they were still doing goldfish sharks, I mean, they'd have a shark on one side, all goldfish on the other, or vice versa. And, so, it wasn't a sophisticated fan base. So you could put, like I was talking earlier, you could put 2 bad fighters, and it looks like a good fight.
People don't know.
No, they don't, And back then, it was, they had an alternate sit on the side if somebody got injured, 4-man tournament. Instead of the 8-man, 4-man tournament. Jesus. So you had to fight twice. They took out the 8-mans because it was just like, shit, man, we have to have like 3 alternates.
It's too many people. And back then, there's not enough guys.
Nope.
I just remember watching the early days where there's, people are wearing tennis shoes. People have gis on. Yeah. Like wild. And like no weight classes.
Yeah.
Like when you're fighting, is there weight classes?
No.
Mm-mm. So you could fight anybody.
Yep.
Jesus, dude, that is.
I think Fabio Gugel that night. I think I was weighing probably 250 pounds. I think he weighed 190.
Dude, it's just.
Oh, unbelievable!
Can you imagine fighting a dude who's 300 pounds?
No.
If he was like,
no. Like Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, and you've trained with Brock before?
Yeah.
How is that, by the way?
Oh, he's a beast.
Because like he's a dude where I don't think he loved getting hit, obviously.
No.
But man, in terms of like. Because, dude, I remember, like, when I'm a kid, he's older than me, like, at the U. Like, he's wrestling.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember seeing the picture. They had the Big Ten photo, and it's all those guys, like, out in the snow. And just his fucking lats. And I'm like, this dude's neck is like my waist, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, just a Viking of a human. And you trained with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he had me come up. Just how strange life goes again, inadvertently. He's done with the WWE. Says he's done with the WWE.
Yeah.
Is when he tried out for football. And
they
had API here, Athletes Performance Institute or whatever it is. So he's down here training, and I just happen to bump into him, and we have this conversation, and we talk and everything. And I said, hey, kind of throwing it out there, going, hey, if you ever get into a fight, man, look me up. And he's like, okay, if this football thing doesn't work out, I will. And so he goes through the whole football process and takes a little time off, and I get a call from a lawyer. And he's like, hey, Brock wanted to reach out to you. He's coming into Phoenix. He wants you to just kind of evaluate him, give him your opinion on where he is and what he would need to work on. And so Brock came down and went down to Sierra Vista, hung out with Don Fry, trained with him, came back up here, trained with me, and said, hey, I'll to me, he's like, hey, I'll let you know what I'm going to end up doing. And then he calls me up and says, hey, listen, come up for a month and just kind of help me set this up and everything like that. And it was, he's legit, man. I mean, legit as far as physicality. I mean, he's on the Francis Ngannou level of physicality. Just the ability to be able to physically dominate another human being.
Well, I remember they did a thing where when he fought Shane Carwin, they did like a side-by-side. And now Shane Carwin's a freak show too.
Yeah.
But they do all the stats, like what his vertical jump is and bench presses. Brock's shit was like the fakest shit I go, how is this real, dude? You jump this high? Like you run that fast? Yeah. Like monster, man. Like it's in awe of it. Like again, obviously he's just a freak of a human.
Yeah.
And then you watch because you fought Heath Herring too.
Yeah.
I remember when he fights him, dude. He breaks his face. I think he was done after that.
Like a toy.
Yeah.
Like a fucking toy. And I've been in the ring with Heath.
He's huge. He's a monster too,
dude. He's hillbilly strong, and I'm saying that politely.
Yeah, he's a tough dude.
Oh, hillbilly strong, and again, it's one of those like I was saying with Full Championship. Just you come across guys that to take anything from them, you're gonna have to fucking dig in and beat the fucking brakes off them. That's it. You're not gonna give me any tells. Like when you're in a fight, there's certain times when when you're enforcing your will on someone, you can feel them right? You can feel them just give a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. I'm gonna fucking kick that door in. Right? I'm just gonna put so much fucking pressure on, regardless, right? It's energy.
Yeah. You'll walk through the fire because you're gonna get him in the end.
Oh, you're gonna do it, man.
But the dudes that don't.
Oh. Dude, it's in my. So this is what's even crazier. So, Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
We had a mutual friend here, a guy named Dr. Stephen Lochtenkart, and Stephen set up dinner. Well, actually, I had dinner with him years and years and years ago, and we've had a conversation of like, what the fuck do you do when you, Mike Tyson, punch a dude as hard as you fucking can, and he's still there. And the whole thing, it's unnerving. It's like as a fighter, it's unnerving because in my head, it's like, what the fuck am I gonna have to do?
Like you should be gone right now.
What the fuck am I gonna have to do? Yeah. I'm gonna have to fucking bring you like as close to death as probably humanly possible.
To win.
Yeah.
Well, and you watch the dudes too, and that's part of fighting, I guess, too. Like the guys who can just take damage, like that's its own skill.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't mean probably to your own detriment in a lot of ways.
I mean, you hear like the announcers going, "Oh, he's got a glass jaw," right? Or, "Oh my God, he's all these little sayings about like he can take damage, he can take a punch."
Yeah.
It's like. It is a skill because you have to be able to not compartmentalize, but you figure out a way to deal with the physicality of it because there's no way, if I punch you in the face or you punch me in the face, it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
Well, and I look at it too, like some of it has to be, there's like a genetic component.
There is.
For sure.
There is.
Like I think guys are obviously more prone to certain things or like, maybe, and as time goes on, you see it too, and maybe you probably could speak to it. Like where, I remember like back in the day, like Chuck Liddell, you could hit him in the face with a 2x4, bro, and nothing would happen. And at the end, it's just watching anybody boxing, and watching MMA. This is just, and it's not medically. I haven't read all this, but what you see is the culmination of all those shots
over time, you just develop an inability to be able to absorb that. And you see it with everybody. It doesn't matter. Professional boxers who've taken a lot of shots, MMA fighters, football players, hockey players.
Yeah.
Eric Lindros, who played for the Flyers for years, he was out for a couple of years because of concussion. He couldn't get on the ice and take any kind of impact.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch you watch some of these wars that like some of these dudes will have, and it's like, and then the guy, 2 years later gets knocked out by nothing. It's like, well, the guy 2 years ago is really helped you beat this guy's ass. 'Cause it's like, how many times you watch like a Max Holloway, because Max has never been knocked down, I don't think. And Max has fought since he was a kid. And, dude, he has gotten, like, when I watched the Volkanovski fight, the last one, dude, he got tagged a million times and just sat there over and over and over. And I'm like, dude, you're not a human. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff that my wife will watch for 2 seconds and she has to walk out of the room.
Walk out, yeah.
I go, Heather, these are two men punching themselves in the face. And, like, they're not, like, running away.
No.
They're going forward. It's like when you watch like a really simple example, like football. Like the guys who are great, the Bradys, the Rodgers, like they step into pressure. Mm-hmm. They don't run away from it.
Yeah.
And now it's not as violent. I go, but that's why they're great. And you guys just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, part of that, what you're saying, it's a predisposition for genetically, that person, if you could extrapolate it out in 1,000 years or wherever that lineage started going, oh shit. It was your great, 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 great uncle. This, all the way moving forward, because it's counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite of what you naturally want to do.
It's 100% counterintuitive. You're not gonna continue to walk forward. Like it's a trained response, but I mean it's genetic that you're able to take that kind of punishment.
Yeah, because you're fighting every natural instinct. For your entire what you do for a living is fighting somebody else, and you're doing the opposite of what your body naturally probably wants to do.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, you're doing the opposite of it.
Yeah.
So you end up in the UFC and you win 2 of the tournaments, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what are those, like 13, 14, 14, 15?
14, 15, 14, 15, and part again, what people don't understand, this is a little bit deeper dive. So I signed a 3-fight deal, $25,000 an event. So the UFC is about to have their first event in Japan in December of 1997, I believe. And in between my last tournament fight with the UFC and them having their Japanese event, I get approached by PRIDE.
Oh, the PRIDE shit was wild too.
Yeah. So PRIDE approaches me and says, "Hey, here's what we'll offer you. We'll offer you 10 times the dollar amount that the UFC is, and we'll offer you Royce Gracie." And I was like, at first when you hear this stuff, you're like, okay. I'm like,
this sounds unreal.
Yeah, whatever, dude. So what they end up doing is says, okay, here's what we'll do. We're going to fly you over to Japan. We'll fly you first class, put you up at first class hotel, get you an interpreter, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, send the ticket. So send a first class ticket, send a driver to pick me up, take me to the airport, fly JAL airport, airlines. Flying to Japan, put me up at penthouse, blah, blah, blah. Take me out, $10,000 dinner, blah, blah. And then we have this press conference where it's Royce Gracie and myself. We do photo shoot, everything. It's going to be PRIDE. I forget the number. It's PRIDE like 3, I think. And we signed the contract, everything. And get back to the States and knock on my door, open the door. And they go, "You Mark Kerr?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Hand me, you've been served." It's like, "Been served?" Fucking open it up. Oh, fuck. UFC suing me in federal court in New York City for an I forget how it was worded. Basically what the UFC said, my skill set was so unique that they couldn't put a monetary amount of damages I would do to the organization
Jesus, dude.
So it's in federal court in New York City. That's who has jurisdiction over the UFC contract. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like this is like surreal, right?
Yeah.
It's like, holy fucking shit. I don't even know what to do. So I like read through it. I don't understand half of it. You know, the internet's not the internet. It's fucking dial up. You know, you can't go like Google search.
It's like Ask Jeeves.
Oh my
God.
God.
It doesn't work.
No, well, it's like trying to jerk off to porn back then. It's like, fuck, can't do it.
It's a still picture that doesn't download.
You know, so just happenstance again, I had wrestled with a guy named Frank Ryan. His brother, Tom Ryan, is the head coach of Ohio State, who I wrestle with. Frank went to law school and was a GA at Syracuse. He's got his law degree in New York State. He's practicing law in Manhattan. And I reach out to him. And I say, Frank, and he gets everything together. So for the next like 3 months, it was just a nightmare because when you get sued by a company that wants to just bully you, at the time it was the old owners, Bob Meyerowitz, I think Art Davies was still involved, but they just harassed me. So I get deposed, right? They say, okay, when you get an order from a court, like for a deposition, I'm in Phoenix, right? I have to report to the court within 24 hours. So I don't have the money to buy, a $900 ticket from Phoenix to New York City. So I'm piecemealing this thing together. And so I fly in, Frank say, hey, stay with me, do the deposition. They say, no, you need to come back in for another deposition. They fly me in for another deposition. They do 3 depositions. The last one, they asked me 2 questions.
Jesus, dude.
So it's totally fucking with me. The thing that ended up being my saving grace was there was an addendum to the original contract. And it had said, I had changed one word, like and to or something. And it basically was, it was for 3 tournaments. And they wanted me to fight in Japan in an individual event. So the contract did not cover that, right? It was for 3 4-man tournaments.
Yeah.
And so in Japan, they wanted me to do an individual fight. It was like, dude, it's just... So it ended up being this whole thing tied up in court. It literally, the attorney's fees were $165,000.
Jesus, dude. One
of the motions I had that was this thick. And it was a response to what we had sent. It was like, and Frank was awesome because he goes, hey, listen, I'm going to give stuff to the paralegals. They're, say $100 an hour. He goes, I'm $395 an hour. If I have to go up to my boss, he's $1,300 an hour.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, you're like, fuck you. Like, seriously.
I never knew that.
No, it's one of those little sidebars that so imagine I lose that, right? The UFC goes, fuck you, we're not exercising the third right in that option. We're just going to sit on it. They were claiming worldwide, authority with that contract.
And
right?
So then you couldn't do anything.
Right. And Pride would have went, dude, too much of a headache, man. Too much of a headache. We're just going to have to part ways. So I would have been going, okay, I'm going back to work at Safeway.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
No income, no money coming in. It's just this time frame where it's like what the fuck am I going to do? Like you talk about sleepless nights. Like, holy shit, man.
Well, because this is like your thing.
Oh, this is it, man. This is what I said I'm going to make this my thing. So as it works out, the UFC wanted me to surrender my passport.
Jesus.
Oh, it was straight up. It was straight up gangster.
Yeah,
straight up gangster,
crazy,
man.
Dude.
So they wanted me to surrender my passport. They wanted all these other conditions, and the court goes, no, we're not going to do that. So it gets right down to I have this small little window where they're still promoting the fight in Japan. The only problem is Royce Hurts is back. So they rebrand it. It's me and this guy named Branko Sikate, this Serbian kickboxer, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have fought. Like I've signed in the meantime. Just as a sidebar, I've signed posters in the last 5-6 years here of the original fight of me and Hoist facing off against each other.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
So they're out there.
So side note, like if you fought him.
Oh, at the time, man, I was peak. I was
Yeah.
peak.
You're just too big for him.
I was peak.
Because what is he gonna do?
You know, part of that time frame is I started to get a way better understanding of where all my deficiencies were, right? Going, okay, I have the physicality, right? Physicality only brings you to this level, and then you need to add X, Y, and Z. And so, anyways, I'll finish this and then I'll get into this little blurb here.
Yeah.
So, what happens? It's a window that I have to commit that I'm either in or I'm out. Otherwise, they'll cancel the fight. And that week, Frank, my attorney, Frank Ryan goes, dude, if you go, here's what can happen. If you don't go, here's what can happen. You need to make a choice. And literally, I go to bed that night, and I get a call from Frank the next day. He goes, you're never going to fucking believe this. And I go, what? He goes, they want to settle. I was like, holy fucking shit, what do they want? They want you to buy out the last fight on that contract. And I go, all this for $25,000.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. And I go, fuck, let me call the Japanese. I go, they want to buy out. They go, okay, we'll wire the money.
And that was it.
That was it.
For $25,000, bro.
I guarantee you they spent, if I spent, 165 or whatever it was, right? I guarantee they spent double that. They had hired this huge attorney firm. I think they were called like Paul something Hastings Coast to Coast. It was so fucked up. So fucked up.
They're worried about the product, man.
Oh my God. They're like, so I didn't understand this. In the Japanese market, whatever company brings you to the attention of the fans, that's the association. So if I went over there and fought for for UFC, that's who I would be attached to.
Okay.
So Pride said, no. We need to introduce you. We need to bring you to. That's the only way that we can monetize or bring you to the level that you want to be at and we want you to be at. So I went over there and fought, and the rest is kind of history. But yeah, that's a little sidebar.
And if you would have fought Hoist, you think you would have won?
So
Tough to say.
It's really tough to say. And I've had this conversation with Hoist. It's really funny. Like when you're at these events, and Hoist was always fighter Hoist, and never sociable except his own little crew, right? Never sociable with any other fighters. Really was focused in on what he was there to do. So him and I got in touch through his boxing coach. God, man, this is probably 5-6 years ago. And had this conversation with him where just such an amazing human being. Like, he blew me away.
Yeah.
Like, I almost left the conversation crying.
Like he's not the dude you knew forever.
Completely, absolutely just a different human being, man. And we had this just amazing conversation, and, just absolutely just blew me away. Just, who he is, character, quality, all this stuff across the board, which is now I can understand fundamentally why he was what he was.
Oh, dude, especially then, like he did it for so long too. And you guys have lived through this evolution of like, and it's like, and I don't parallel to fitness, but I'm like, when we start doing fitness, how many retired, fitness people There isn't fucking any. We're just making shit up as you go. You're doing it in like the most violent, like brutally, ridiculously hard thing where even the companies you're working for don't really know what the fuck they're doing. And the rules are just evolving as it goes.
Yeah. Part of what like when the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC, they had to come up with a product that was palatable for the average consumer. Diehards are going to be diehards, right?
But it's so it's too much like how it used to be for most people. Like,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
when I would watch like the Pride shit, like when Chuck is over there, Vanderlei, Rampage, dude. Like just, I mean,
Brutal.
it's fucking great, but I like what I like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think for most like the casual fans, if I can remember, God, I was maybe college age when Forrest and Bonner fight
yeah.
I think that, and like that's what
That was a catalyst. That
dude.
was a huge catalyst to bring in just a new era. You know, it really was. You know, part of what I was saying earlier, like the parts I didn't know about myself, like realizing like I have physicality, right? I have the ability to buckle down and train and do this, and this, but I'm missing all this other shit. And so inadvertently, I get a call from a guy named Avi in Los Angeles who owns Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club. And he's like, hey, would you be willing to come out and train, do like a class, basically, like on a Friday or Saturday? And he goes, I'll give you X amount of dollars. And still at that point, I hadn't made, I call it internal money. Like the first Pride fight I had, that gave me internal funding.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to go, okay, I'm self-funded now. I could buckle down and I could do, because I don't have to worry about if the fucking cable's going to be turned off or the electric's going to be turned off or if I'm going to get an eviction notice or what. I don't have to room with fucking 19 people, right?
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's like a real job.
Oh my God, man. It's like, fuck, man. It's a completely real job. So anyways, so I end up still I go, okay, I'll come out. And so I came out and it just happened to be in that room. It was Boss Rutan, Marco Huaz, Pedro Izo, and Oleg Tatarov.
Jesus, dude.
So those are the guys that were around that Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club. And it was like, oh, holy fucking shit, man. Like, once we started playing around and stuff like that, you know, I realized in a fucking minute that, oh my God, man, I got these big, huge gaping holes in what I don't know. And so it was this process. I think, I joke, I go, probably the first 6 months I tapped out probably, 5 times, 10 times every fucking practice. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got it. I like drew this line and going, okay. I kind of fill those gaps in.
Well, you come from like the wrestling, but it's like these guys can do, there's jiu-jitsu guys, there's striking guys or judo guys or whatever the thing is. And you're like, I got to learn all this shit?
Man, it's at first it seemed daunting, but also was a new challenge. So bringing on a new challenge, going, hey man, I'm thirsty for this stuff. I want to learn it. I want to understand it. I want to be able to execute it. You know, when you come from a wrestling background, I have all this spatial and body awareness and ability to figure out like it's almost like when you're in this is a good example. Like I would grapple with my eyes closed because it's all feel. Like when you're on the ground and you're doing groundwork and stuff like that, it's completely feel. You're feeling your sense in space where you are. You're feeling your body movements, and you're feeling like when something is completely uncomfortable, usually it's not a good thing. So it's this time frame where I'm like, okay, figuring out all these different positions where I don't want to be, where I want to be. And then it became like, I call them small movements. So everything got condensed. There's no big movements. Like I'd be on the ground and see small little movements and, figuring out all this stuff that you have to figure out, Well,
and when people watch like on like TV or something, and like all these two dudes are just laying on the ground, I'm like, they're not. I'm like, and when you start to understand and watch it, you're like, oh, okay. And you see the dudes that are like legit. And again, sometimes it's like last night I watched the Amanda Nunes fight.
Yeah.
Whoever the girl was, it's like, I don't think the girl wrestled a day in her life.
Yeah.
Because she took her down anytime she wanted and ragdolled her. And I'm like, well, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and again, you go back, you work on it. But even when you watch that down there, like the guys who are, the dudes who are black belts through and through and through versus the guys who maybe just started rolling, you're like,
yeah.
Like you last like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's wild to see.
It's such a steep learning curve, man, for some of the guys that don't have the background. And the part of the reason, like you can look at the rise of the wrestlers, right? And the guy that helps Henry Cenudo out, is a friend of mine, Eric Alberison. Eric's like, okay, you can look at it like this, parallel lines, right? Guy that's striking his whole life, right? And then a guy that's wrestling his whole life. And he says, okay, I want to be an MMA fighter. And then he takes this wrestling and he starts his striking. He's never going to catch up with the striker.
No.
But if you watch a UFC fight, that striker might have the advantage first round, might have a little advantage second round. But all of a sudden you get into deep water and the tide turns.
Well, especially if you can control somebody. And that's really what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
all else fails. Like, if I can take you down, dude, how great is your striking from your back?
Yeah.
It's not awesome.
No. It's so part of like the whole narrative that I would like going into a fight going, I'm going to make you wrestle me. And you know what? I'm a better wrestler.
I mean, that seems to be like you look across the board, the dudes who are.
That's what I'm going to do.
And you get the anomalies, right? But the guys who can be champion, like if it's like UFC, right? Like they can be champions without being great at wrestling. Their wrestling defense is fucking like Anderson Silva.
Solid.
Like he's starching everybody, but you couldn't take him down. And also, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so it's like, not that you don't want to take him down, but it's like, Chael Sonnen. Now I got to worry about this. I can beat your ass for 20 minutes, but it's like if I mess up for 30 seconds,
you're done.
And that's just gnarly, man.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it becomes this whole, God, man, it's such a heavy mind game. It really is.
Well, now they have to be good at everything, because you really can't just be one or two
dominant
things.
in one discipline. And part of the origin of all of this is just that. It's just the whole Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, right?
Yeah. He
was the first one to start going, no. What I'm doing is incomplete. And Judo Jean LaBelle comes on and he brings all these different, because he understands that it's one is not everything. It's an incomplete art. So he started trying to add these different elements, and it was my understanding is he was just ostracized by the by the martial arts community. Because a lot of what happens is you become belt chasers, right? Like a white belt, yellow belt, green belt.
When you plant your flag, like we're jiu-jitsu guys, we're wrestling guys, but it's the dudes who can do a lot of it. And you might be great, you might be the best. Like who's the kid now? The Bo Nickel kid.
Yeah.
He wrestles, but it's like he also can throw.
Yeah.
So it's like if you said I'm only gonna wrestle,
no,
you won't make it, bro.
No.
Especially like out of the early rounds.
No.
It'd be rough. Well, because you see or like when you see the crossover shit, like as I'd watch like the Ben Askren stuff.
Yeah.
Like Ben, you're a great wrestler, bro.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be boxing anybody.
Yeah.
There's just different.
Know your limitations.
Yeah. But I do think the MMA stuff is the hardest, because it's like if you ask me, like if John Jones boxes like Tyson Fury, he dies.
Yeah.
But if they fight for real.
Oh, God, man. Forget it.
2 minutes.
Forget it. So this is the other one. So this is another little sidebar. So the Japanese who try to monetize everything, basically, when they look at, like me, right? Monetize.
You're the product, yeah.
So they had approached me to fight Mike Tyson. Said, would I be interested? I always go, every superhero needs a villain, right? Jesus. So you run out of people to fight. That makes sense to put him in a big, huge arena.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, sure. And they go, okay. So when I had an opportunity to talk to Mike, he's a huge fight fan. He watches UFC, does all this stuff. First time I ever met him, he actually imitated the knees that I did in the second UFC that I fought, number 15.
No shit.
When I knocked out Ranger Stott. Swear to God. He used to train at this gym on Van Buren. When he was still boxing. I had met him like 2000 or something.
Really?
Yeah. And so I walked into the gym, in the back of the gym, and he looks at me and he goes, you the guy that did the...
No shit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, shit. So that was my first time meeting him, and then we circled back and we had dinner one evening. So he understood. Back then, he's said it point blank. He goes, not what I do.
No.
Not what I do.
There's too many disciplines.
Not what I do. He understood back then, just because he's that combat. He watches everything, And back then he was watching UFC, he was watching Pride, he's doing all of that. And he's just like, not what I do.
You just had to learn too much. Like also,
oh God, the learning curve.
especially now, like when you watch the later stuff. I don't know when it started. The calf kicks, man.
Oh,
Dude, you watch
it's taking everybody out.
their legs just get like when like Gaethje does it great. Just fucking whips around and just chews up that front leg. I'm like, I never saw that
No,
15 years
No.
ago, 10 years ago.
no.
And all of a sudden they figured out, like, well, if we kick this front leg, that wide, like, kind of boxing stance, dude. Yeah.
It's like finding that one scale on the big dragon that you go, you just need to shoot the arrow through that little thing.
And you're good, dude.
And you're good. Because it's Sugar Sean. He had that whole dead leg.
Oh, with the Cheeto fight.
Yeah, that whole dead leg.
Can you stand up?
No, and people don't understand that, like, on the outside of from your knee down to your ankle, there's a nerve.
Oh, dude, if you bang it, like, with groceries when you're walking, I'm like, what the fuck was that? I can't imagine someone kicking it.
They don't understand that like people that are casual fans don't understand your shin has a blade on it, and the blade is like the edge of an axe or the edge of a blunt. It's blunt, but it's still an edge.
Yeah.
And when you kick and you turn your leg over, it gets that edge of your shin onto a surface, and it's this little slice. It's this little, and that's what hurts. Like if I kick you with the meat of my calf, like if I kick you and I hit you with anything other than my shin, it's just like meat on meat, bone on meat. Oh,
Brutal,
man.
dude. And you can watch in real time, the leg just turns from like nothing to just beat to shit. And then
Incredible.
and then if you can't plant, what are you going to do?
You can't feel it. It literally creates dead leg. It creates that nerve just goes, oh, fuck this, man. We're done.
That's why I watch now. I'm like, God, there's just so many ways you can lose. It's just
And you know, part of the idea behind that is that there's always that fighter's chance, right?
Yeah.
There's always that one shot, one kick, one this, one that. You know, Chael Sonnen, Silva. You know, this one little, and it changes the whole paradigm of what's gone on, and that's part of like why I watch.
oh yeah.
Because I go, oh, man, geez. It's like, this is the other one. I just thought about this. So, fighting for Pride, the Grand Prix that they did,
Yeah.
right? That Mark Coleman
Yep.
won, right? So, I'm warming up before Royce Gracie and Sakuraba are fighting.
Wow.
So most people don't know this. My training partner, like a week, 10 days before the event, I had not weird rules. Just when I trained and nobody could touch me. I said, let me just warm up. Don't fuck around with me. Let me just warm up. And once I'm warmed up, we can go ahead and start, rolling around and grappling. So Steve, my training partner, walks in, and I'm on the ground on all fours, and he's just goofing around, and he grabs me under the armpit and grabs me around the chin, and he rolls back on me, but he traps my left leg underneath my body, and I sprain my MCL. It's like 9 days before the event. So when I go over there, I have lidocaine, and I'm like, fuck, I'll just shoot it up before I got there. So most people that don't realize this. So that fight between Sakuraba and Royce I believe it went like an hour. It was 15-minute rounds.
That is so fucking wild, dude.
15-minute rounds.
Jesus.
So the Grand Prix was 15-minute round. You fought until somebody gave the fuck up.
I can't believe it's real. Like, that just is insanity.
So the fucked up part was, at the end of the first round, Sakuraba, I believe, got him like in a knee bar. And I'm like, this is it. And Royce is behind him. Royce is fully geed up, right?
Yeah.
Royce is behind him, and Sakuraba's cranking on it. And you see his fucking knee bend. Bell rings. I had already shot my knee up with lidocaine. I'm like, fuck, So I go, okay, so I'm warming up. I'm like, fuck, I'm next up. I'm fighting this fucking dude named Fujita, blah, blah, blah. So again, I think the second round or third round, and same way. It's like fucking Royce is going to finish him. Royce, I think in the third round, gets hockey jerseyed, where Sakuraba just pulls his fucking gi over Royce's head, and he's just uppercutting him like it's a fucking hockey fight.
Jesus, dude.
Brutal.
I can't believe it's real.
Oh, my God. So the thing that ends the fight is leg kicks. Sakuraba just fucking leg kicked. They fought for fucking 1 hour.
It's insanity, dude.
In the history of fighting, if people don't realize this, in the history of fighting, that by far is like, if they're going to do like classics on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Classic 1956 football game. That's classic. Like if you've never seen it and you want to see two human beings push themselves beyond the limit of physicality, motionality, the whole paradigm of the human condition, watch that.
And like what that takes from you.
Unbelievable.
Like you leave something there.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
So I forget how many times they fought. So they fought then. Hoist couldn't answer the bell for the 5th round because of leg kicks, right?
Yeah.
So I think they fight like 3 or 4 more times.
It's just crazy.
They fight until Hoist finally fucking beats him. I think Sakuraba beat him like 2 or 3 times, and then Hoist finally beats him like I think the 4th time they fought.
It's just like, it's better now. The rules have made it better.
Yeah, way better.
So what did you fought for how many years? A long time.
So I did, 97 through 2009, but I call them the lost years. Like there was a point where
you probably should be like, you know what?
Oh, I should have hung it up a long time ago. And part of the unfortunate part is I thought I had to come back. Like I walked away from fighting for a couple of years, and then I go, okay, I can have a comeback, and I just didn't have any emotional drive to do it because I'd already done it.
And it was just a job then. Like
oh yeah, there's easier ways. Like people would say to me, "Hey Mark, man, there's easier ways to make a living."
Well, in the part for you, like how much like. And like we talk about this in our space, like you train, you get sore, and then like idiots like us would just come in and train even though we're sore over and over. And I probably did it for 10 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
I go, but nobody's like beating the shit out of me, and I'm like, how much of that like you're going to train and you're still fighting, but your body is just beat to fuck, and you're doing it despite because pain is a real thing.
Yeah,
pain will say, hey man, like slow down, let's do this, and you're like, fuck it, dude, I'm an athlete, I train, this is what I do, and you're doing that for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because how fucked up are you? Some of these fights, like posts, like.
Oh God, man.
Like,
well, in Japan, I wouldn't fly the next day. I just couldn't. Just getting up in a pressurized can. Like everything got exacerbated. It just made things way worse.
For sure.
If I had, like if I got kicked in the shins and stuff like that, that little compartment would feel like it would blow up. So I'd sit there. Sometimes I'd sit there for a couple days before I'd fly back out. It usually took. Depending on how bad the fight was, it usually took anywhere from, this is the reality, a couple of weeks to a month. The saying that a lot of fighters have going, fuck, man, I can fight every day. I can't train to fight every day. The training camp is usually the fucking crucible. That's the grind, because it's such a huge commitment. The fighting is fighting. You're prepared for it. The recovery afterward, yeah, it fucking sucks. But that training camp, getting through it healthy, was the other huge part. Back then it was like, fuck. It's like prior to Henry Ford inventing the assembly line, how the fuck did you put together a car? It took fucking like a month, right? Or however long, right? And then you have this process going, hey, let's just start here. And we're going to be over here, and this is what we do, and this is what we need to do. And so that process of understanding of how to put together a training camp, that was the hard part, and now it's just like there's templates all over the place.
When you can go one place and get
everything.
Yeah, and that's
huge part.
The progression of it.
So yeah, and the other part too, people don't understand. Back in that time frame that I was fighting, in order for me to get to a dojo, right? Like I couldn't go in the main hours. It was so fucked up because it was still such a pissing contest. So when I would go over to Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club and I would teach wrestling, you would have all these jiu-jitsu guys from all over come sit and watch me go over takedown techniques and stuff like that. And then, a couple weeks went by And at the end of one session, they like one of them got up, locked the door, drew all the blinds in the place. And I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, we're not supposed to be here. Would you teach us some takedown techniques, like privately?
No
and I'm
shit.
like, yeah. I'm like, he goes, you don't understand. If our instructor finds out, that we're here and we're exchanging any techniques like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu techniques and we wouldn't be allowed to go back to the dojo. That's the era.
That's so different, man.
It's so fucked up.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah, here locally, I couldn't go into a dojo and train. I had to go after hours. I had to literally go after hours. I would rent an hour, couple hours of space at a dojo because you couldn't go in because it would be the fear of like the sensei like showing him up in any capacity would just be like, fuck, can't do it.
As professional athletes,
yeah,
like, that's the shit you're doing.
Yeah,
that is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So like as you like go through the whole fighting like career, do you? And I'm sure like the amount of like there's just like the damage you accrue. At the end, you're probably just like, damn, dude, like my body's like it's done.
Yeah.
And like you're cool. You can tell. You're like, I just don't. Whether it's like emotionally or however you guys get up for it, but like just physically, like, yeah, this is just taking a toll on myself. 'Cause I'm sure you've had like a bunch of surgeries and different things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I, still a lot of unattended stuff that you kind of go, well, I'll get to it when I'm done. Like, I have, my right shoulder needs surgery and, I have, X, Y, and Z and, I got no ligaments in my left ankle and I got this huge fucking calcified, thing on my right ankle. It's just little stuff that you go, I'll take care of it. And then all of a sudden fighting ends, life begins. And then you get further down the road. You're like, well, fuck, I'm not in the gym doing what I was doing before. I can manage it but eventually it's like, fuck, I want to be able to, like if I have grandkids, I want to be able to pick them up, not go, I can't pick you up today because my shoulder's going to fall out.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that I still need to get to.
But like, do you hurt every day or no?
Oh, yeah.
Like every day?
There's so, I mean, like most things, some days are better than others. I'm, for a lot of years, it's just this fucked up, part of, I didn't know how to be in a gym without being like the dude. Like honestly, I didn't, and it was all psychological. But like when I walked in the gym, I was like the dude, right? I was like, I walked in physically fit, all this other stuff. It's not like I'm walking around meek and this. I didn't know how to fit in the gym.
Yeah,
it's like fuck. I spent like 5 years not going to the gym because it's like fuck. I got a belly, and I got fucking love handles.
Because like when you look at, and I'll share it when I post this on Instagram, I'll share some of the slides. Cause I got one with you and Rogan in there. Rogan still has hair too.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I'm like, there's, the picture I mean, like it's one of you. It's got to be UFC. Like, and you're just like, I don't want to say like doing like a most muscular, but bro, you look like a fucking alien, dude. And I'm texting it like my best friend knows who you are. Him and I were texting last night. I'm like. He's like, oh, you're almost as big as him. I'm like, bro, if he headbutted me, I would fucking die. I go, my orbital bones would crack and I would die. I go, you're a humongous, bro.
Yeah.
But like conditioning wise, like just a different animal, bro.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it get to a point where, those first couple, I was like, I didn't know what I was walking into. So I'm like, I'm going to be as big and fucking strong as I can. And then going, oh, that's too big. So eventually it just kind of whittles down into this, I knew that like my fighting weight needed to be, about 240, I was good. If I overtrained, I was down in the low 230s. If I didn't train enough, I was in the 250s. So you had an ideal weight, right?
Yeah.
And I go, okay, this is where I need to be, somewhere in this, I did enough here, did enough there. Manage this, manage that. Here's where I am, and I know I'm going to go into the fight condition. Too lean is, I don't have enough fat to absorb punches and blows. You need some fat on you.
Yeah, because you were like big, but like shredded, dude.
Oh, God, man. I was, in those pictures, I think I was like 270 something, and I had probably 4% body
dude, you're vascular as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? It's like seems, it's almost like not real. Like when you see like when Overeem is like
Oh,
over
God,
him. You're
yeah.
like,
Oh.
what is this? Like, I'm talking like the Pride, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He's huge and he's ripped. I go, this is one of the scariest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And he can move around.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's not a statue.
yeah. And I'm like, that. Like, you look like that. And I'm like, this is fucking nuts, dude, to see.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, I felt like I could break you in half. Like at like the physicality that I had is just, and again, it's like watching the first like 3, 4, 1 through 4 UFCs. It's like going into the octagon with a boxing glove on and no boxing glove on the other hand.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're fucking getting into. And so that whole mentality was, I'm going to have a suit of armor, right? I'm going to be as big and as fucking strong as I can.
But you used to like headbutt people and shit.
Yeah. That was fucking,
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
You used to headbutt people. Is
Yeah.
that why it's illegal? Because of you? Or a couple people, I'm sure.
A couple people, but part of it was like, oh, yeah, hey, whoa, that's palatable for the diehards. It's not palatable for the general public.
That's it. But the thing about like when you watch stuff now, like you're watching the fights like last night or whenever, imagine somebody headbutting somebody.
Oh,
People would be like, what? This is fucking
Yeah.
good. But you guys would do that shit.
Yeah.
That trips me out.
Oh, it takes on a whole different dimension when you start doing that. Because realistically, it's like a 25-pound sledgehammer.
Yeah.
It's like part of it, I just had an interview, ironically enough, about headbutts a couple weeks ago. And, the reality is the part that is hard to digest, it is for me, it was like a natural thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, especially against Fabio, because again, like I said, he wouldn't fucking give me his will. He just would not give it to me. And so I was like, you motherfucker, man. This is like, oh, watch. Boom. And it wasn't a thought. It was just like.
Reaction.
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to take it. And that whole thing, like looking back, like I watch film now and I cringe.
I did that to another person. Oh, man,
it makes me cringe. Because I'm not in that space, right?
Yeah.
I just was talking to a friend of mine and like watching myself walk into the ring, it's hard for me to look at myself and recognize myself because it's a different, completely different mindset, completely different persona of what I'm about to do. And I can look at it and go, wow, that's like a totally different person. I know it's me, but it's a totally different person.
Yeah, because you're the same person, but it's just the era of time where you got to look at it and be like, can you like, because like we like reminisce in life, like we're nostalgic about music, TV, whatever, and memories and shit. And you think about like when we call it like when you had the juice, like when you are the fucking dude, and you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Like it's pretty sweet. Like as violent
it does. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Because that's like, and that'd be the hard part too. Because it's like, again, it's the era of time you were in. Because now it's like you go live your normal life, and nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's like I remember watching Bo Jackson is at like his kid's like baseball practice.
Yeah.
And he's talking to this little kid. Looks like he has no fucking clue who he is. He's like, I'm like a Heisman Trophy winner in football. I played in the NFL too. And the kid's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But doesn't give a shit. I'm like, that's where we all end up, dude. It's like no matter what, like Bo Jackson, no one cares. Like you'll go like to the bank tomorrow and like, oh, that Mark's at the bank today. Yeah. And like then you'd be like, well, this is also me.
Yeah.
That's the got to be the wild part.
It is. It's sometimes it's even hard for me to digest that was part of me because people look at me, talk to me. I'm not allowed. Most guys, and you probably know this, most fighters in general,
nice dudes,
pretty tempered, and I used to joke about this. I would see like a big buff guy in a gym and he'd walk around like, and I go, hey, you can put your sword and shield down, and they look at me like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's one where it's like, I already know I can defend the gate. I don't have to carry my sword and shield all day, right? I'm just relaxed. I'm down a level, right? And that's most fighters, they don't have to carry their sword and shield all day because they know what they are.
Well, it's like if you have a Ferrari, you don't have to floor it, dude.
No.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And like you already know.
Yeah.
Like so that's
the other little key piece. Like people go, oh my God, you're so, and I go, yeah, I don't really have a bunch to prove. I'd like to make $1 gazillion, but, other than that, I'm good.
Yeah. Like, do you still, like, wrestle and roll now at all?
I'm just starting to.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, man, it's a friend of mine who has 4 girls. And one of them, he has twins, and they're 9 years old, and they're yellow belts in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And I went to an event, maybe probably like a month ago, and his daughters are full on studs, man. So I said, okay. I said, I'll get back in and I'll teach in the dojo. I'll teach takedown seminar. I'll go. I mean, it's free. If you charge money, give it to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna do that probably in the next couple of weeks here, and that kind of kicks off a whole series of stuff that's gonna go on this year.
That's tight. Because I'm sure, like, there's parts, like, maybe not, like, kicking the shit out of people, but, like, you miss parts of it.
Oh, huge.
Because it's like we go play sports, but it's never the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, your stuff, you can still – I mean, you can teach it, but it's different too.
So the ADCC, so there's the first class of Hall of Fame this past year.
Which you're in.
Yeah.
Pretty badass, dude.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't know they were doing any of this.
Oh, no shit.
So, no. So I knew they were going to do the Hall of Fame when they told me, hey, we're going to do the Hall of Fame. But it's nothing that I had on my radar as like, hey, I'm looking forward to going into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So I go up to Vegas to do the event. And prior to the event, you had all the Hall of Famers do a seminar. So they broke us up into like 2 instructors, and then they had, it was probably 300 people.
Okay, shit.
And so you had these chunks of like 25 to 35 people, and it was amazing. Like, I haven't been on a mat in forever and a day, and all that stuff is ingrained. I've done it so many times. It's committed to memory. The analogy I give people going, okay, like if I go to smack you in the balls, you're going to flinch, move, or block it with, right? It's that type of thing, that reaction that's built into all these little moves in wrestling.
Forever.
Oh, forever and a day. And so I literally get in front of, it was so awesome. It was like this whole thing, because it's my people, right?
Yeah.
And it's that environment where I get, it's like I'm giving, but I get way more than I give. It's this incredible, feeling of just being around people that understand it, that appreciate it. Like you were saying, like tomorrow I could show up at the bank. Nobody knows who the fuck I am.
They don't care.
No.
But these are your people, and they do know.
They do know.
Do you follow the jiu-jitsu stuff at all?
So that actually brought everything back up on my radar. So
when you watch like Gordon Ryan,
some of the stuff they're doing now.
How good is he, dude?
Oh, he's fucking phenomenal. And here's what's changed is all the lower body stuff. I mean, like at ADCC, or like, okay, great, man, there's so many upper body attacks and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden you go, fuck, man, at the top level, everyone's fucking diving down for the legs, man. It's a whole shift of like how to manipulate an attack. And you'll see it in the UFC. It'll eventually show up there.
Because those guys will teach to them.
Oh, yeah. It'll literally filter its way down.
It's crazy how good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Because I watch because he's like a lot of Gordon's. I now watch some of the clips because again, once you go on Instagram, dude, now you're sucked into the. Yeah. I'm reading quotes by Volkanovski, and I'm like, Jesus, dude. And so now it's all this jiu-jitsu shit, and I'm watching him just like heel hook the shit out of people or ankles. I'm like, this is wild, dude. I'm like, you don't even have to get up. Like you can lay on the ground and you're. I'm like, this is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Cool to see though.
Oh, amazing. The production, what they did, how far it's come. I mean, it's foundational. That whole because the event that my buddy's daughter went to, Callie, was an ADCC event, and it was here.
Okay.
And it was produced like it was the show in Vegas. So you had a 9-year-old girl having walkout music.
That's tight.
On a platform, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Just her. It was freaking awesome.
That's tight.
It was awesome.
Well, and those two for the young kids, like it's a skill like anything, like where it's applicable. It's how I look at fitness forever.
Yeah.
You can have that because when you learn, especially like when you start to sing, it's like if you and I go try to learn piano today, we're fucking trash.
Yeah, forget it.
8-year-old, by the time they're 12, they crush.
Yeah.
The same. Imagine like you learning jiu-jitsu, dude, when you're 8.
Oh God.
How dangerous of a human are you? You know what I'm saying? Like with all the other skills.
I'm gonna have to send you this clip, man. Oh my God, man. His both daughters, her twins, the oldest, they're amazing. Like she literally sends me this clip of this is what I'm gonna do, like her training.
Yeah.
Right. And she walks out, exactly mirrors the clip that she sent me. I was like, holy shit, man. I said, your daughters, man, are
Badass.
because they have it. They have that little thing. You watch somebody, right? You watch somebody in a basketball court going, oh shit, he's got it.
Yeah.
Right. Or and they have this for a 9-year-old girl to have that kind of focus and determination and commitment is just like, wow, holy shit, man. Wow.
For jiu-jitsu.
Blew me away.
For
Blew me away.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Blew me away, man.
I'll ask you this last one. We're at 2.5 hours, give or take. About to pee my pants. I did read this. Is it true? The Rock.
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
that? Like, so are they going to make a movie or what is the thing?
So just real quick.
Which is crazy.
So here's the nutshell of this, right? So.
Because again, I'm not interrupt you, but there's a documentary on HBO.
Yep.
You are the most literally documented person I've ever talked to, by far. Like there is so much shit.
Yeah.
Like wild, dude. Like you're like really like famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in that weird in this weird space.
Yeah. That film did a bunch of stuff. It did a bunch of stuff. It put mixed martial arts in homes that normally would never fucking watch it.
No.
Ever. They'd never buy a fucking $100 pay-per-view event, right? So it put that in homes that normally wouldn't be able to see it. That's one. Two is I was living in California when that got released. I'd moved from here to California, Santa Monica, and I was training at Gold's Gym, and DJ The Rock was training there as well.
Oh no, that's how the connection is.
So here's what's even more crazy about this, and I'm going to connect all these dots. It's a Kevin Bacon moment, right?
Yeah.
So DJ is training when he's at Gold's Gym in Venice. He's there. He's at work, so he's not sociable. He's there working out for a purpose, right? So I'm training with the guys I was saying trained hockey players and stuff like that. A guy named Tier Goodman has a facility there called Pro Camp, and so I say, like, hey, how are you? But he doesn't know me from Adam, right? He gets a copy of the documentary, watches it. I don't know the time frame, but he watches it, and then him and I run into each other in the gym, and he's like, hey, saw your documentary. You have time for lunch today? I was like, yeah, let's go grab lunch.
The fucking Rock.
So, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. So him and I go grab lunch, and he's asking me like 1,000 different questions. What was going on here? What was going on there? What happened here? What happened there? And we have this great dialogue and stuff. He goes his way, I go my way, right? Inadvertently, again, I meet this guy named Brad Schlater, who just graduated from U of A. Brad Schlater is DJ's agent now.
Yep.
So I get a call in the summer of 2019, and it's Brad Schlater. And Brad goes, I don't know if you're going to remember this. Right when I started working at William Morrison Agency, you and I met. And I was like, and he goes, yeah, a friend of yours introduced us, and you and I met at a deli in Beverly Hills, and I set a meeting up at William Morrison Agency. And I was like, holy fuck. I go, oh my God, I can't believe it. So he set a meeting up. William Morrison goes, what the fuck do we do with this? We don't even know what it is. UFC, MMA, we don't know what to do with. Like I was pitching them, like this is the next thing. This is going to take over, blah, 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 blah. So time goes on. I get a call from Brad. Brad's like, hey, DJ do you know who owns your rights? And I didn't understand this back when I sold all my rights. I didn't understand, like, there's all these rights, movie rights, book rights, da-da-da-da-da. So anyways, DJ, I point him in the right direction. Brad acquires all these rights that are out there for my life and everything, and DJ buys them all. And he says, hey, he talks to me right before Madison Square Garden, where he makes the announcement and gives out the press conference. Yeah. He talks to me, goes, hey, you don't have to do anything. This is what I'm going to do. So I talked to him for like 45 minutes on the phone. He's like, hey, here's kind of what, he goes, I can get stuff done now that I couldn't get done back then. He goes, here's kind of what I'm thinking. And so he lays out this, like, hey, this is going to be this, and this, and then COVID. And then makes an announcement, and then COVID takes effect in 2020, 2021. And so all the studios are like, fuck, we didn't have any income. So let's just make these big blockbusters where people want to come to the movie theaters, blah, blah, blah. So it's still going to be made. It's just time frame wise, the last conversations I had were, it's probably to a point where DJ might not be able to play me just because he's at a point where it's like, how do you play a 27-year-old dude?
Yeah, he's getting older. I mean, he's jacked.
Yeah, jacked. He can play that part.
Yeah. But that's crazy.
Yeah, just one of those out of the fucking blue. Like so far beyond any paradigm of, like, my own thinking. And it's like, I get a call and I'm like, the first call that I get is from, like, Brad's secretary. And it's like, all right, dude. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, fuck you. And I, like, get online and I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, it is. Yeah. That number. It's like, oh, fuck. And I was like,
is it real?
Yeah. It's like, well, okay. And then all this process. And then crazy part in the meantime. So I get a call from, we'll close with this, or close however you want. It's your show.
Yeah. You're good.
I need to take a piss too. So we're getting to the end. So I get a call from a guy named Gavin O'Connor. You're not going to know the name. So when my documentary was being made by John Greenhelge and John Himes and all the guys that did it, they ran to a point where they had asked everybody and their mother for money to get the film made. And they had ran just to a point where, like, we're out of money. We know we have a good film here. We're just out of money. So they bring Gavin O'Connor and his brother on board as producers to fund the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
So Gavin was involved back then. Gavin did a movie. He's done a bunch of stuff, but he also did a movie called Warrior.
Oh, okay. Dude. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So he wrote it.
Tom Hardy.
Yep. He wrote it, directed it. So that was 2011. So from that point going forward, everybody and their mother is asking him to do a Warrior 2, do a Warrior 3, do a series, and he's turned him down. So he contacted me. Do you know the name Higgin Machado? Jean-Jacques Machado, the jiu-jitsu guys. Okay. Yep. So Higgin Machado gives me a call, and Higgins like, hey, I want to put you in touch with Gavin. And so Gavin calls me, a couple months ago. He's like, hey, here's what we're going to do. Paramount Plus. They asked me to do a Warrior. I said, yes. It's going to be 10 episodes. Right now I have you kind of written in for X amount of episodes, and you're going to be a coach, and I want you to, you're going to be the coach for DC. And that's going to be the premise. There's going to be another. And he starts explaining the whole thing. I was like, oh, fuck. He goes, I'm like, you're kidding me. He goes, no, probably going to film somewhere this year towards the end of the year.
No
I was
shit.
like, fuck. I was like, shit.
Dude, like, your life, dude, and we touch on, like, half of it. Not even. Like, you've had the most, like, fucking unreal, like, awesome, shitty, great, like, just the strangest. Don't you feel that?
Yeah.
Like, you've had, like, this whole spectrum, and it's like, and at the end of all of it, it's like, yeah, this, and then The Rock wants to do my shit. It's like, how wild is that, man?
Oh, so, part of it when after I talked to Brad Schlater and DJ, everybody in my immediate circle is like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I go, I'm the same, right? My life isn't going to change one way or the other because I just want to be here, right?
Yeah.
Because I know what here feels like, and I know what here feels like. I know here is where I function the best.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can go, oh my God, I can't believe the most recognizable name in motion pictures and entertainment, and the world wants to do a movie after me. Oh my God, fuck. Well, how do I put that in perspective?
You can't.
There's no fucking way I can.
There's nothing to compare it to.
No.
You can't call a buddy and say, hey man,
Yeah.
I know this happened to you.
Yeah.
Because it didn't.
No.
Like,
you know,
that's
so
crazy.
it's like this whole thing of like being tempered. You know, like I'm here and I'm here. And I'm going to try to stay here and here. Because I know when I get to there, it's just too drastic, man. It's just too drastic. And I try to have this even temperament through everything. Sometimes people go, oh, you're not emotional. I'll go, fuck, I am. I just keep a lot of it fucking where it should be.
The amount of violence I put out, like, I've lived both sides of the fence, man.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah.
So where do these you have an Instagram website?
Yeah, I do. I'll send you the links. It's Mark Kerr TMS, the Smashing Machine. And I got a lot of stuff coming up this year. So my website will be relaunched and all that stuff. When it gets up and running, I'll shoot you out some links.
Yeah, dude. I'll put the Instagram in the show notes and stuff, and then this will live everywhere and all our stuff, man.
Yeah.
You can come back anytime, bro.
Oh man, this is like one of these things where Michael D, right?
Oh yeah, Mike D is the best.
Oh gosh, man, one of those guys where, you know, first time meeting him and sitting down, it was at a business setting, right? And it's just like, for whatever reason, like, yeah, I like you, dude, man, you're cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then taking it out a little further, it goes, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody. I want to, you know, he's that guy. You know?
Dude, I will bring Mike on at one point, but I call him a gamer. Like, there's very few people I can call and text. I'm like, hey man, I need this done. He's like, done. But like all the fucking time.
Done.
I'm like, yeah, dude, you are around forever. I'm
Yeah.
like, because there's very few people who just like, and again, like,
wants nothing in return.
dude, especially when I meet him, I'm like, I don't have any money. Like, I'm just like I'm still a fitness idiot, but I'm like, that's all I'm doing. And he's just like, yep, I'll help you do this and this and this. And I'm like, well, what do you get out of it, bro? Nothing.
He wrote a whole entire business plan.
Isn't that crazy?
I swear to God.
Like, dude, you got a job, you got kids and shit. Like, you don't got free time to be doing all this. But he's like, he'll do it. So shout out to Mike D.
Yeah, man, it's a good dude, man. Really
stuff.
good dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate this. This is 3 fucking hours.
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
Good shit, dude.
Yeah, I love it.
I appreciate your time, man.
No, thank you again.
All you guys, again, Jeremy's Got Fitness app is in the show notes. If you guys want a free sample of AG1, hit me up. And obviously, give Mark a follow on Instagram. I'll post all the stuff in the show notes. And if you want to see some gnarly shit, just pull stuff up on YouTube because there's a lot of it, man. There's a lot of content on you. Impressive. Or when The Rock puts a movie out.
Yeah, there you
catch
go.
that too.
There you go.
Thanks again, brother. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me.
All of you guys, drop us a 5-star on Apple. Same thing on Spotify. And until next time, you guys, eat well, train hard, be nice to people. And please keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.